Hello and welcome to the Remote Gaming Podcast. This is episode 35 of the famous RGP podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Cork. I'm alongside the Texas Windman himself, Joseph King. Joseph, we were just talking about some crazy weather that you guys are getting. I said this, it's like every time we jump on to record a podcast, there's some sort of weather event happening in Amarillo. It's wild. There's crazy weather there, and you're explaining to me a little bit, but it was pretty interesting if you want to fill the audience in.
It's just Amarillo is just the weirdest town, and it's just so weird because it's weird in so many different reasons. It's known for its the nuclear warhead facility Pantex that makes nuclear weapons, tons of other weapons too, not just like nuclear weapons, but it's a contracted government facility. It was once the world's helium capital of the world. All the helium in the world was mainly produced here. I also found out recently too, we have it's the International Airplane paint shop, I guess you could say. There was I saw on the news the other day, the Crown Prince's Saudi Arabian aircraft was at our airport, and I'm guessing he sold it and it was just getting repainted. But yeah, that's like it's just such a weird town, and it's got a weird dynamic. Like it's weird, it's windy, it's rainy, some days it's hot. Like we had a day in May, like in 2010, where we got 6 feet of snow. Like it's weird. And it's all of February, has been in the 70s, and it's usually not like that. So I don't know. Like I can't describe it. So it is one of the most miserable places to live on the planet, because if you have any kind of like allergy or sinus trouble at all, you're just constantly sick.
My allergies started bothering me over here in Central Florida in December this year, which is really early. Usually it's like around now, like kind of late February. So when that stuff starts kicking in, but I've been taking allergy medication for the last couple of months just because like the pollen is really bad. It was freezing here. Like we got the coldest weather we've gotten in, I don't even know how long, over a decade for sure. Everything's dead. Grass is dead. We had 3-4 days of, below freezing temperatures at night, which is enough to put Florida into a chokehold. So everything is changing every single day with climate change and all of that. But luckily, we have the indoors to shelter us from all of the crazy weather. I've been playing a decent amount of games. I have a couple here. For those who are, for the uninitiated, for those who don't or might be listening for the first time, welcome in to the podcast. You can check us out write in and be part of the show on Remote Gaming Podcast at gmail.com. Check us out over on X or Twitter at remote_gaming20. We're on YouTube and TikTok. YouTube is Remote Gaming Podcast. Joseph does a great job cutting up shorts for TikTok and YouTube as well. TikTok is at remote.gaming.pod. There's some really fun, funny content that we put up there from clips from live streams that we've done and podcasts. But I've been playing a decent amount of games, I feel like, over the last few weeks. It's been a couple weeks since we have recorded a podcast. There's been a ton of news that's happened between now and then. So how we're gonna structure the show the way that we always do. We're gonna talk about what we're playing. We're going to dive into the news. There's some holiday news that have come out around which consoles we're selling really well. There's some shortages that we're going to be experiencing with RAM, so that's going to affect just about every side of the industry that we know and love so much, especially on the hardware side. So we're gonna dive into that, and then we have the PlayStation State of Play is going to be the topic of the show. We're going to do a full rundown of the games that were announced, games that we got like a more detail on. I thought it was a fantastic State of Play, so I'm excited to walk through all of the great games that were revealed and talked about there. But you know what? I think I usually start with what we've been playing, but I want to hear from you first. What have you been playing?
Well, I think I mentioned this last time we recorded. I wanted to work through my backlog, and I've gotten kind of to the point where, man, Arc Raiders, I got everything done that I needed to like do. I feel like I know there's kind of like these little events that they're doing, and new skins and stuff. And usually when they come out with like I forget what it's called, but where you spend the blue credits to unlock the. No, not
is it no
expeditions when you like reset. I'm not doing that. Like I work too hard to get my blueprints. I could care less about, and the changes to the stat points seem minuscule. So I don't feel like I'm going to do that. But I just feel like I was just kind of over that, and I have such a huge backlog. So I was like, I want to go through my backlog, and a game has consumed me, and I cannot believe I put so long. I put it off for so many years because the first one really didn't appeal to me. I beat the first game in this series. For those that listen, know that I'm a big Souls-like fan, and Neo 3 got announced or came out recently, and reviews are pretty glowing. It's got some performance issues. Neo 2 had some performance issues on PC, but I never played Neo 2 because when I played Neo 1, I like Souls games. I love like anything from soft like Neo 1 felt very unfair in a way that in Dark Souls, when you die, it's your fault usually. There's a few cheap deaths here and there, and there's some bosses that mechanics take time to learn. Totally get that. Neo 1 specifically, the very first boss and some of the later game bosses just felt cheap. And the iframes and the ability to dodge or parry depending on your play style seem just, I don't know, there's just something a little too janky about it. It was a good game. I didn't care for it so much. And then when Sekiro came out, I think 2019, I was like, man, this is how you do it right. So Neo 2 came out in 2020. I never touched it because I didn't like Neo 1. I was like, Neo 3 looks really good. I watch Fightin' Cowboy a lot. He does a lot of the playthroughs and walkthroughs of those types of games. And I really want to play it, but I was like, I don't want to play it without giving Neo 2 the proper love or giving it a chance. Because what if I didn't like Neo 1, I'm not going to buy a Neo 3 if I'd never touched 2.
Right.
So I started Neo 2. And I'm about 68 hours in. I've got like, I think 5 more main missions. I've been doing all the side content. I think I'm level 90, beating most bosses first or second try. There's only been like one boss that really gave me trouble. I think that it took me like 6 attempts, and it's not as hard as I thought it would be. And it's a lot, not forgiving, but it's designed better. And I've just gotten, not to toot my own horn, but I've gotten so good at these types of games that I'm understanding it. The combat system in Neo 2 is phenomenal. Being able to swap stances on the fly, get your key, which is your stamina, back up, and being able to disrupt enemies. I thought it would be more kind of parry heavy with Sekiro, and you can do a build like that. It's just the possibilities are endless. And I know that people that play Neo 2, the end game is really what matters, New Game Plus, because Neo 2 is like, it's got the movement. The best way I could describe Neo 2 is like, it's got the movement of Bloodborne. It's got the game mechanics of Diablo, like the loot system, but the skill tiers and the way you can build craft is just kind of crazy. So I only plan on beating it one time because I want to move on to other games. There's a ton of games in my backlog, but I am so impressed by this game. I probably like it more than a few Souls games. I would say. I think I like it. Maybe not Dark Souls 1, but definitely Dark Souls 3. It's not better than Bloodborne. And to me, it's not really a Souls-like. Yes, the mechanic of dying and going and recovering your Amrita, which are your souls, that the shrines that are your bonfires. That's about where the similarities end for me, and the leveling system. But it's such its own thing. Team Ninja, they always seem to deliver with their games, except for Rise of the Ronin, unfortunately, which just wasn't very good. But Neo 3, I've watched some video and they've added some mechanics, and basically they're kind of taking, if Neo 2 is to what Dark Souls is, Wolong Fallen Dynasty was like their Sekiro because it was very parry heavy. This Neo 3 is probably like their Elden Ring. And so I'm really excited to get to that eventually. But yeah, I can't, if you like these types of games and haven't played Neo 2, it is a phenomenal game. And in the history and the lore, you unlock things, and Obunaga and Yasuke. All these historical figures are in this game, and which is funny, Yasuke got a lot of shit in Assassin's Creed Shadows, but nobody said a damn thing about him being in Neo. So I don't know. I've also been, I got over playing Cyberpunk, and I'm almost done with the platinum. All I have is like mop up, finish some gigs, got all the endings, finished my Phantom Liberty. I think I did over like 92 hours in that one save, because that included Phantom Liberty and trying to get all the trophies. So I have like 3 trophies left, so I'll probably be close to platinuming that, but I had to put that down because that was enough. Did my Baldur's Gate 3, finished that run up, and so I was like, I wanted something to play in between Neo 2, and so I started Control because I never finished that game.
So
and
good.
I can't wait to get my teeth into this, because I'm really kind of like just starting to dig into the story beats and enjoy the combat. Remedy makes amazing games. It makes me really excited for Control Resonant, which is going to be melee combat. And being the action RPG fan that I am, definitely want to get through Control so I can play that. But in between that, I wanted something to play on the Portal while I'm in bed. My wife's watching her, I don't know, there's some god-awful reality show where these Instagram models sell $1 million homes in LA. Have you seen this show?
Oh, is it Selling Sunset or whatever?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
there's a couple of them.
It is the most obnoxious. I told her, I said, I would rather you watch the Kardashians on repeat than just have to see these plastic bitches sell these houses for these millions of dollars. And so I was playing the Portal, and I wanted to play a Metroidvania, and Silk Song just doesn't, Hollow Knight was okay. It's not in the upper echelon. So I wanted to play something that was different, but that I had in my backlog. What could I play? Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Dude, this game is so rad. It's beautiful. The art style is good. It's got parry mechanics. I can tell how Metroidvanias, you constantly progress and you level up things that you can unlock to do different abilities. That's going to be a big feature. And I'm not that far into it, but I like it a lot. And I hate that I started this right after they announced a God of War Metroidvania, and I probably would have played that instead. Honestly, after seeing some of the stuff of that God of War game, and which we'll talk about that later, I'm glad I'm playing Lost Crown. It is a very slept on game. I don't like when side scrollers are super dialogue heavy, especially when they're voice acted. I don't know why. Like 2D, 2.5D, side scrollers, Metroidvanias, to me, like just have a dialogue box and move on. Some of the voice acting it's not very good. And the story, I could give a shit. I saw Metroidvanias are about gameplay. Gameplay is king. And Prince of Persia: Lost Crown it's good. It's not Messenger or Symphony of the Night good, but it's a very fun game. So Neo 2, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and Control. What I've been playing.
Nice. That's a good mixture of games there. I mean, I very much like you. I need kind of something to play on a handheld when I'm just chilling and before bed, or Casey's watching a TV show and I want to play something. So Prince of Persia is a good one. It's on my list of things to play, and I'll talk a little bit about kind of a 2D side scroller shooter game that I'm playing as well. I suck at these games, but they're fun. I'll talk a little bit about Cyberpunk. I finally rolled credits on the story. I was really going to make a platinum run for this game. I'm still doing that, but what's weird is that I'm playing part of it on the Switch now too. So it's off of my PlayStation because I rolled credits on it. So it's a game that I'm playing on the Switch too. So I'm still wrapping up some side quests and things like that. I will say I was a little underwhelmed with the ending that I ended up choosing. Light spoilers. Throughout the side quests in Cyberpunk, it unlocks different endings for you when you get to a certain point where you have to make some decisions. I chose a decision where I kind of stayed in a relationship with a character that I had seen all the way through. The ending was fine. It's kind of like a getaway type, situation, which I was kind of like meh about. But overall, Cyberpunk's one of the best games ever. If you like RPGs, you have to play it. It's just one of those. It's one of those games that if you don't have it as a reference point, you kind of need it if you're playing other RPGs. And it's interesting. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't think this really spoils. But were you referring to Pan Am ending?
Yeah, Pan Am, best girl for sure. That's the ending that I ended up rolling with. There were a couple endings there that I could have kind of gone with, but that felt like the most. I felt like I had the most momentum in that storyline, if that makes sense.
Have you seen all the endings? Have you went back and played through that final mission to choose what to do? Have you seen them? Or
no,
have you
but
watched videos on them?
I'm going to look them up. I think I want to look them up and see what I'm missing out on.
I would say play through it because there are some dialogue options that change, especially some of the ones that include Johnny. So some of them are a little bit long-winded in the teeth. There is no good ending in that base game. There is an ending you can get with Phantom Liberty that actually gives you a good ending for V's character. But yeah, all of that game is tragically sad in all of its endings.
I mean, it's a tragic world, honestly. Yeah. Like it really, the vibe that you get throughout the entire game is that the city is just doomed. It's been consumed with greed and this corporate over, I mean, a lot of parallels to what we're seeing, today, right? Mm-hmm. Where everything is kind of ruled by this corporate elite and there's them and everybody else. And the story is fantastic. The world is incredible. Like, I just want to live in Night City every once in a while, just because it's so seedy and so shitty and so interesting to look at visually. And I don't know. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Cyberpunk. I know I talked a lot about it, so I won't continue to divulge. But if you haven't played Cyberpunk and you enjoy RPGs, put it on your list. It's really, really fun. The CD Projekt Red did a phenomenal job turning that game around. Phantom Liberty, the DLC, is amazing. Like, it is so cool and so fun. You really feel like you're on this awesome, kind of like spy mission almost towards the end. It's sick. Can't recommend it enough. I also I don't have too much to say, but I've started playing Ghost of Yotei. And the main reason for this is they announced Legends and it's coming out. I have a couple buddies who really want to play that. There's a raid attached. We'll talk about it a little bit with the state of play. But I downloaded Horizon again to play. I wanted to play something Sony first party. I just had an itch for a game with that kind of polish, and booted it up. And I was like, oh, I could get the plat on this. I'm probably 5-ish hours away from getting the platinum. But I was like, you know what? Oh, I kind of want to play Ghost of Yotei. So I downloaded it. I am about 3 hours in, so it's still very early. But what I can tell you is that I have enjoyed these 3 hours with Ghost of Yotei almost more than I enjoyed the 25 plus 30 hours I put into Tsushima so far. The combat feels better. Like, I haven't unlocked all of the weapons yet, so I just have the bow and the sword. But it feels snappier, feels more responsive. The enemy variety seems better at this point, and they put you in more interesting positions. Like, there was this bounty that I was on, and they're kind of at the top of a hill, and they're shooting these cannons down at you, and you have to work your way through. It was just one of the more interesting encounters I've seen in that. More interesting than anything in Tsushima. So I'm really enjoying it. And something else that I'll say about it that I thought was really interesting, and I'm still in one of like the opening areas. Things are starting to open up for me now, but the flow of the missions and the bounties that I've gotten all makes sense. It's like one of the first open world games where I can plot, hey, I want to start here, go here, do this, hit that side mission, grab this bounty, unlock this, bath or whatever. And it's all makes sense. I'm not.
Doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed slop on a map.
Yes, it feels a little bit more guided, which I love. The story's interesting. It's a revenge story. I'm into that as well. The main character, she seems cool so far. No qualms. She's a little gruff, and kind of hardened based on her backstory and stuff. So it's cool. Like,
Sure.
I don't know. I'm really enjoying it a ton.
It's really funny that you mentioned that you're playing this, because I was actually going to like that is so my son, I bought that for him for Christmas. He put 38 hours in, rolled credits. He hasn't touched it anymore. I had planned on playing it eventually. That was actually what I was gonna play instead of Control. But I'm like, do I really want to go from Neo 2 to
Probably not.
Ghost of
Yeah.
Yotai or Yote? And because completely different games, but aesthetically, feudal Japan, and I'm just like, I wanted just something in between, because I felt like if I did that, I would just rush through Yote. And I've heard so many good things about it that, from the sales performance, obviously, it outsold Tsushima in a lesser span of time. I've listened to Colin and David Jaffe talk about it a little bit, and Jaffe says it's his favorite action RPG of all time, which is
Wow.
fucking that's asinine crazy of a statement to say.
Wow.
But I bet the game is good. I bet it's not that, but for the creator of God of War to say it's his favorite action of RPG of all time, or action game, adventure game, that's pretty cool. So I do look forward to playing that. It's just funny that you're playing that, because I really want to play it.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm not far enough in it to make a definitive statement like that. But if Jaffe is saying that it is that good, I'm excited to see where the combat goes, because he's very much a kinetic. If you played those old God of War games, man, they feel great to play. And so I'm excited to dive in a little bit deeper into that. And it's also, the game is absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And they have 5 different performance options.
Really?
On Yote. They have quality and performance, right? So that's 60 FPS, 30 FPS. Then they have a performance, I can't remember what they call it, performance plus, where it's a little bit higher fidelity at 40 frames. And then they have another one that's like ray tracing plus, which has ray tracing, lower resolution at 40 FPS. So there's a bunch of different options. And I'm playing on base PS5. I don't have a Pro. So there are a lot of options. I've only played with performance and then ray tracing at 40. Both are good. The 60 FPS is a must for me, I think. But I'm going to toggle back and forth as I usually do on that game. There's a ton of options. It's really cool. It's obviously incredibly high quality as well. It feels really fun to play so far. I'm excited to dive in more. I'd love to see how it performs on the Portal. That would be an interesting thing as well, to see how the game looks on a smaller screen. But much more to come on that in the coming weeks.
That fucking team, man, like from Infamous to 2 to Second Son and First Light, which I actually liked, Ghost of Tsushima, very polished. They are a polished studio,
and everything they do, it's funny. I was thinking about I was jumping, doing kind of like a platforming area on this beautiful coastline. And I mean, it's like the game is stunning, right? But I'm running through and you jump on like a pole, and it felt like Sly Cooper. Like it literally felt exactly like Sly Cooper. So there's that DNA that they have through all of these games. There is a sucker punch panache that they have that I think is really, really cool and really neat. And yeah, I mean, it's great. I love it so far much more than the first game. So I'm excited to see what it has to hold. But I gotta talk about Overwatch. Overwatch just released 5 new heroes. They got rid of the Overwatch 2. They're back to just Overwatch. It is a full post Activision Overwatch. The game is the best it's ever been. I think maybe Overwatch 1 back in the glory days, but since then, the game is so great. And before all of this dropped, I wanted to go back. I played a little Marvel Rivals for a couple hours, and I was like, I can't play this anymore. And I booted up Overwatch. I am addicted again. I mean, I sat here for 4 hours last night and played Overwatch. I've played a ton of hours in the last couple of days. The game feels incredible, looks awesome. They did some polish on some of the visuals, but the 5 new heroes are very fun to play. They are all very well designed, in my opinion. I think people are excited to play Overwatch again. It feels, when you log on, like it's not just people who have been hanging out in these lobbies for 10 months and are jaded and awful. It feels like people who are excited to be there again. And I gotta, as much shit as Blizzard gets, and they deserve all of the stuff that comes to them, the Overwatch team is cooking. Man, they're cooking right now. They really are.
Because after Kaplan left, I was like, oh, this fucking team, this game's done. And it kind of...
It did die a little bit.
It kind of was. It kind of was.
It's back and better than ever. If you're ever thinking about getting into Overwatch, now is the time. There's excitement around it. They're going to release 5 more heroes this year, so there's a total of 10 coming this year. It's going to completely change the game. Marvel Rivals was the best thing to ever happen to Overwatch.
Oh yeah,
it's
sorry, I was just going to say, I've talked about my disdain for hero shooters over the years because of just what they're doing, adding too much, and I hope it doesn't disbalance the game. But good kudos to NetEase for lighting a fire under Blizzard's ass, because they knew that they were eating their lunch, and they kind of were. And I've played both games. Yes, Overwatch is a more polished game. I did like what I played of Marvel Rivals, but competition is a good thing, and it's in this day and age in gaming, especially to online games, you gotta have it, because it's going to bring out the best. We'll talk about Marathon, I'm sure, at some point in this podcast, where it got changed because of competition and feedback. Feedback sometimes kills games too, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I mean, good on Blizzard for turning that one around. I wish they would show the same love and care to Warcraft. They do that team, the Warcraft team, just seems like they have no guidance or direction. That game needs to die. Like, just finish this saga, get the next expansion out this one midnight, and then the whatever the last one of the World Soul Saga is, and just end it. Go do something else.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Overwatch is going to be around for a while. If this player base can hang on, because if they can siphon some of those folks off of Marvel Rivals who haven't played Overwatch and keep them around, which when you play the two games, they're very different. Like, yes, they are both hero shooters, but Rivals is, the healing is different. The pushes are different. It's more casual. Your ultimate is an easy button. It's like a win fight button, and it's not that in Overwatch. You still are vulnerable. You feel it's a little bit more strategic on the Overwatch side. I have over 250 hours probably in Rivals between PC and console. I played the shit out of that game. I probably played more Rivals than I have Overwatch in my day, but I have a feeling that's going to change recently. I also want to talk about a game called Neon Inferno. I'm playing this on the Switch. It is a 2D side scroller shoot 'em up type game. I think like Metal Slug meets something like Contra. You have enemies in the foreground and the background that you shoot and play with. Game looks awesome, by the way. Yeah, art style is incredible. It has a like a CRT filter that you can put on or off. And normally, like, CRT filters kind of suck. This one does not. It looks awesome. It's super fun to play. I am awful at it. I am so bad. It's not even funny. Like, if you watch gameplay of me playing this game, you would think that I'm riding a different kind of bus. But it's I can't put it down. It's super fun. I'm working through the levels on Switch. It's something that I'm just playing and putting some time into. If you like these types of games, look it up. Probably haven't seen it. Not many people talked about it when it came out. It came out last year. But take a look at it if it interests you. I can't recommend it enough. It's super fun. If you like those types of games, you'll love it. And I also need to talk about Highguard. I played Highguard. I played, let me check my Steam time here, actually. So I played 3 hours on Steam, and I probably played another hour to an hour and a half on PS5. I feel bad. I feel bad for the devs of this game. I feel bad for the people who like and enjoy this game, because there is a lot to like about it. There's also some need for improvement. This could have been alpha and beta tested a little bit longer, I think, to grab a little bit more feedback from the audience. Also was a massive, massive L when they announced the game as the one more thing at the Game Awards, and it was just dead on arrival because people just review bombed it on Steam, having played less than an hour, barely gotten through a tutorial. It sucks because there is something that is really, really neat about Highguard. If you haven't played and you haven't watched anybody play, it's a mixture of a couple different genres. It is a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege in that there are two bases that you can fortify. So you can fortify walls and in different aspects kind of in your preparation phase. Then there is a loot phase where you go out into the open world. Now you can run into the other team during this phase, but you basically go around and try to get good loot. Now, one problem with the game is that in the first couple rounds, you can only get like green or blue items. You can't get a purple or a gold early on. Those unlock later on. So you kind of have this like tiering of loot. There's no, hey, I got, oh my god, like, rarity gun, like I got a gold gun at the first round, right? We're gonna have an advantage here. There isn't really that. It stays more balanced. You can tell that the game is meant to be a competitive game. Like this is meant to get a 3 stack, go in and really try to beat the other team. It's not quite casual enough. I think it was a little over some people's heads that jumped in and wanting something. It plays like Apex, which is like the best thing you can say about it. Like, it feels amazing to play. It's really, really fun. It is snappy. It is responsive. The guns handle really well. They feel good as you gain attachments and things on them, right? But eventually what the game boils down to is that it's a little bit capture the flag. So it's a little bit of everything. You go and you grab this sword from a place on the map, and then your objective is to take that sword to your enemy's base, and it breaks a barrier, and then you can infiltrate that base. And then there are 3 bomb sites that you can plant bombs on. So it becomes attack, defend, a little S&D, right? With limited lives. It legitimately is a lot of fun. But if you're confused just listening to me explain it, yes, the first couple games, you're not going to really understand what's going on. Your teammates aren't going to understand what's going on. But in those higher levels, I watched some gameplay a few days ago of people who are still playing the game. And we'll get into the news. This might actually be a good segue into a news topic here.
Why not? Because there's some things that I actually disagree with you on. I didn't play it, but there's reasons why, and I wanted to talk about that too. So let's just dive right into that first topic of just talking about the announcement of Highguard from the Game Awards to 1 month later and the stuff that's happening today with the website shutting down.
Yeah, so this comes from escapistmagazine.com. Is Highguard officially dead? Gamers wonder as website goes down. So this is today. This happened just a few hours ago. Probably, less than 4 hours ago. Highguard recently laid off most of its staff. That was 2 days ago. But a core group of developers remained to keep the game alive, or so the gaming community was told. On February 17th, players noticed that the website was down. This was first spotted in the morning, and it is still down as of 10:30 a.m. PST. With most of Wildlight Entertainment's staff gone and player count dwindling, the website being down has raised a lot of concern. Is Highguard dead? In the morning of February 17th, the 24-hour peak player count was just over 1,600 players. This is a massive fall from the nearly 100K players that popped in when the game launched. While the game remained about 4,000 to 5,000 players for the last week, the layoffs left gamers largely discouraged and inclined to believe the game was not worth investing in. I think this is a really big piece here as well. The failure of Highguard comes down to the shadow drop. Not only did this not give the gaming community a chance to test out the game and provide early feedback, but it also didn't pay off to provide information or hype surrounding the game after Jeff Keighley put at the end of the Game Awards in 2025. That was a famous one last thing. announcement. Even though the Highguard team wanted the game to, quote, speak for itself, the gaming community felt that Keighley and the content creators spoke for them with nothing to go off of, no trailers, no gameplay. All they have was overly positive feedback from industry shills. The strategy didn't work. I'll kick it over to you. You have a different opinion on this game than I do, but I'll let you kind of take the conversation where you see fit.
So I just kind of want to reference, you're one of the first things you said when you said you were playing it was the announcement at the Game Awards. You felt hurt that. I disagree in that I feel like this game would have even been way more dead on arrival and not even had the spike that it did in that first 24 hours had Keighley not hyped it up. I right now there are 938 people playing on Steam right now. That's bad. That might be worse than Concord. My problem with this game when I watched the first trailer, wasn't sure what this was, and then when it came out, I always do what I do when it comes to competitive multiplayer games. I watch my guys like Summit and Shroud, guys that are good at FPS games, to see, is this something I might be into? And as I watched gameplay of it, to me, this game just felt like it had no vision. It felt like it was a bunch of people that had a lot of good ideas from a lot of different video games and threw them all onto one thing. And I really didn't have a problem with it being, a lot of the big criticism was, I guess, the 3v3 aspect of it. I guess my criticism would be like, just there's too much mechanics. And when I play an online game, whether it's competitive like Counter-Strike or something like that, even Valorant, you can have your classes and things like that, but keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a lot of friends that want to get online and play a shooter or something like that. So a lot of times, when I play Overwatch and things like that, I'm in the, standard lobbies. I'm not in the competitive. I'm not getting into ranked because I don't have the teammates to do that. And in games like those games, like you said, you need, a 3-stack, a 5-stack, whatever you need to communicate effectively. To be good at this game, I feel like that's what it needs. And I feel like there were too many people playing with random people, and you're just not going to have fun in a game that has this many mechanics. It's just not possible. But, go back to the Tommy Lee Jones quote: a person is smart, but people are dumb, panicky animals, and you know it. Like when you get a group of random people together, it just doesn't go well. It's not fun. Arc Raiders is the exception to that rule, where I've joined random lobbies and actually enjoyed my time with random people in video games. But from Call of Duty to Apex, playing with random people sucks because 1 out of 10 matches you get people that will communicate. The gunplay in this looked amazing, and the guns looked like they felt good to shoot, and it had that Apex panache, that feel that Apex showed so well. And it bummed me out because I liked the art style of it, and I thought the guns and the kills and the sound on death and the headshot, and I was like, man, they really nailed some of the shooting here. But I could just tell I was just like, there's just too much shit going on for this in this space and in this day and age of internet society, where negativity is going to be everyone's first emotion, no matter what the game is. Negativity is always going to outsource positivity on any video game, usually. So
I think so too. I think here's what I'll say. We've talked about people just want to hate things. Like nobody wants to like anything anymore. It's so uncool to be excited for a game. It's so uncool to like a game. It's just cool to fucking shit on everything right now. And I think Highguard was definitely a victim of that to an extent. I think people didn't want to like the game from the rip. Now, is it a kind of a mess? Like, is the game a bunch of different things kind of melted together? Does it really work? That's one conversation I think that can be had. And I also think that it's something the game can evolve over time, or should have evolved through more playtest and getting more people to actually hands-on with the game. Because when you do play it, you realize it's really competent. Like it really feels good. Like what you said, you can even just tell from watching someone play that, damn, it feels good to hit a headshot. Wow, these guns control really well. Like it's interesting. It feels familiar, but somewhat different. And maybe it needed 5 players instead of 3 to make the lobbies feel a little bit more full. Maybe some of the phases needed to get kind of shortened a little bit, and there's some economy issues in the game. Like they can take out the Fortnite pickaxe, gaining material type thing. I don't like that concept at all. Just give me a box to open up or something to shoot that I can grab, the materials to then buy things from the vendor. But like, it's increasingly difficult right now if you compare it to a game like Deadlock, which is a Valve game. They're very different games. But what Deadlock has been in alpha and beta now for over a year and a half, and people have been hands-on with it, and they have changed that game time and time again. It's not really for me. Maybe I'll jump in one day, but it was a little too hardcore for me. I sucked at it, and I played like 10 hours, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'll play it when it's on full release. But it's a tale of 2 games that are essentially, one is dead because it was announced and it wasn't fully play tested well enough, and then there's another one that's cooking, and people are hyped about it, right? They're still playing it. People are like, wow, Deadlock is really good. The people have been playing it for a long time.
I think that game sucks personally, but like I said, it's not for Highguard didn't appeal to me, so I didn't play it. But I thought they did have something here. But it's like, what game releases today that's online, live service, and you don't test it? You're just like, fucking, here it is. And they didn't say beta, they didn't say anything. They just said out today or whatever. When Jeff said that, and it was like, man, if you would have just put alpha and then been like, well, this is an alpha, because nobody had seen anything of this game. Nothing was leaked, really, as far as I know. If you would have put alpha on a quality that good, imagine people would have been like, there's something here. We could change this over time. We build on it. And you take it off servers out, slam the servers, do whatever you got, and then kind of change things on your community feedback. I also think we live in a world today where the loudest person, and it shouldn't be this way, but the loud majority usually wins. And what sucks today about a lot of these games, like, I hope it doesn't have an arc, but you've got the Burnt Peanut, and then you've got like these communities, Tarkov, you have Landmark, Dr. Lupo before he cheated. Streamers will fuck up a game. Like, they will change. There are devs that have listened to the loud streamers because they get 1 million clicks or whatever, and be like, well, that must be what the community wants, instead of just have a vision, put it out there, make changes based on community feedback, but don't change one thing because one person said something and they're the most watched person. Like, one thing I saw a long time ago was 90, or not 90, but it was like 75 to 80% of people that watch streamers never play the game they're watching. They just watch the streamer play it. And as a developer, well, not as a developer, but how could a developer take that as good positive feedback from one person? I love Summit to death. I've watched him for years. He's I liked him when he was in Counter-Strike playing professionally. I think he's entertaining. He has a lot of bad takes, and those are opinions, and that's fine, but opinions are subjective, and you can't just base something off one. I'm not saying that Summit's changed a game. There isn't anything that comes to mind, but there are a lot of streamers that have. You can't tell me that streamers don't impact a game's change. And I think people are like, well, this game sucked, or I didn't want to do this or that, and also not going into alpha. It hurt it bad.
Yeah, big time. You have to get people hands on with it. It's one or two things. This game shadow drops out of nowhere into beta, which is what they should have done. Like, hindsight's 2020. What they should have done is they should have said beta out today for Highguard and shadow drop the damn thing. And people were like, oh my God, from people, Apex, like, oh yeah, Titanfall, some devs from Titanfall and Apex, let's check this thing out. And they would have been like, you know what? Yeah, there's something here for sure. And it would have gained a community. I just know it. The game, the bones are good enough. People play worse games every single day. People play worse games.
Absolutely.
Every day. They play crap and slop. And like, this game is not that, but it's just a shame. I think this is going to be Concord 2.0, right? And everyone's going to go, we were right. But the game is gone. I uninstalled it. And I think this line here, right, is really what speaks for it, right? Is that let me find it again. It was the layoffs left gamers largely discouraged and inclined to believe the game was not worth investing in. For a live service game, time is the premium. It's not the money that you spend on the game. It's not the money you spend in the game. It is the time you spend in the game. Everyone's time is valuable. And when you're watching Burnt Peanut stream every single night for fucking 200,000 people and he's playing Arc Raiders, that says something about a game. It says that, yes, maybe only 10% are playing it, but people are invested and they're spending their time watching someone play the game. They're invested in the community. Like, those things matter. And Highguard just never had a chance to be able to do that. So
I think it came out at a wrong time too. Like it released way too close to Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders, like, I don't even know, like, that winter event hadn't even ended. Like, it's super fresh in everybody's mind. It's the new hotness. You got people coming to Marathon. Tarkov 1.0 launches. What about this? You have Marvel Rivals going crazy. It just seemed like a bad time to launch this game. And I had it wrote down. Their website's down. They haven't even posted on social media since February 12th. Per Destin Legary. And it's, right now we saw less than 950 players on Steam. This game's dead, and it seems like nobody cares about it. I just wanted to kind of shift to, before we change news topics, like, don't you feel like to launch a live service game post, I don't know, 2022 to now, it has to be a flash in the pan. Like, it has to have something about it that sets it apart to go and exist, because devs are getting eaten alive. Imagine how long people worked on Highguard. Do you think it had
a long time
development for at least 3 to 5 years, probably, right?
Yeah, if not longer. I mean, and that's the thing that's sad about it too, is that it's not that the game reeked of bad quality. I think I had, when I worked bars and restaurants, I had a manager, right? And he was talking about breweries specifically, but he's like, breweries need to have 2 out of 3 things to be successful: good liquid, great location, and a great staff. If you have all 3 of those, you've got a great bar, right? You got a great brewery. If you have 2 of the 3, you can survive. If you have 1 of the 3, you have no chance.
Right.
Very similar with live service. Arc Raiders had a fun game that was competitive yet casual, right? And I think this is what live service games need. You need casual players to keep that game alive, right? Art style and direction. And then it also had really fun and creative ways that you can interact with the world, right? Mm-hmm. And good gameplay is wrapped up in that too. Look at Overwatch. Overwatch has interesting characters. It has really tight gameplay, and it's just fun to play, right? Like, but it has good design. It has like these other things along with it that, yes, even when the players dwindled for the last 2.5 years, people will come back to the game because they know that the core, the bones of the game are good. And Highguard had good bones. It just didn't hit on a lot of the other things. The virality wasn't there. The design was kind of there. It just didn't hit on all cylinders, which sucks.
It's just hate culture, and because it was cancel culture and now it's just hate everything sucks, and this mentality of like, my guy doesn't like it, so I'm not gonna play it. So I guarantee you, if fucking Burnt Peanut was playing that game every night, it probably would still be up. Maybe, you know what I mean? But like, I hope that every time I see something new of Marathon, I'm like, okay. Because at first, because you know me, I was done. I hated Bungie because of what they did to Destiny 2. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, you've got me back in. I'm gonna buy it. I will play it.
Yep.
But I'm worried that Marathon's not gonna end up like Concord or Highguard. But I'm worried that the outrage culture and this doesn't have what I want, or this is this, and or my streamer did this. Like, I feel like that it's just so overwhelmingly loud that it fucks up so many games today. And people bitch all the time about what they want in their live service game, or don't put this. Remember, hell, we saw it in Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
EA, the microtransactions, everybody spoke outright, which deservedly so. And then they worked hard, and that game is fucking phenomenal today. And nobody fucking plays it. And it's like everybody bitches and they get what they want, but nobody will play it. And now we're in such a everybody bitches and the game goes away. We want to make something just go away and not cease to exist, and have it cease to exist. It's mind-boggling to me that I used to always want to. I'm not smart enough to write code, but I always wanted to be a writer and write stories for video games. I would hate to work on a video game today. Could you imagine? And we'll talk about in the state of play the God of War, Sons of Sparta. People are just so fucking loud about this game, and the creator of God of War, David Jaffe's bitching about it, and it's like, man, which his opinion is the only one I think is valid on that game. It's criticism.
Agreed.
If you created the character, you created the world, you could say whatever the fuck you want about what comes after. I think George Lucas can run his mouth about Star Wars today, even though he signed the check and got the money. I think he would be allowed to critique what he did with Disney, or what Disney has done with Star Wars. And so I don't know, like, it just seems so, I feel bad for devs, dude.
I do too. And I feel bad for the Highguard team, for all those affected in the layoffs. Hopefully you guys land somewhere great, making another game that you really love. And unfortunately, it looks like it's probably not going to be this one, but yeah, unfortunate. I mean, even I was watching the Burnt Peanut play marathon, and his chat the whole time was just game sucks, game sucks, game sucks, game sucks, game sucks. I'm like, what? Are we watching the same game? Are we watching the same thing? This does not suck. This looks fun. And Burnt Peanut said afterwards, right? He's like, oh, everyone's saying that I'm just saying this because I got an ad or whatever. But like, I had a really good time playing this game. And like, I'm going to be playing this game. It was a lot of fun. It's snappy. It's responsive. It's everything that Arc Raiders is not, right? Arc Raiders is not snappy. It's not super responsive, right? Like you die behind walls all the time. Like there is some stuff in Arc Raiders that is not Bungie level PvP quality. I think all of your hardcore PvP people that love Arc Raiders are moving over to Marathon, and I think it's going to be a really interesting time for the extraction shooter space, and I'm excited to see what's next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I same, and it's just that Marathon will be probably the only live service game I play this year, other than going back to Arc Raiders from time and time again, because it doesn't look like it. Man, they had a chance with Battlefield 6, and unfortunately with Vince Zampella's untimely passing and everything. Have you seen the season 2 and what they're doing? It's like you get one map, and I remember like Battlefield 3 and 4, you got like 6 maps a season. I think Battlefield 1, you had like 3 or 4 at one point, and it's like, I don't want to fucking play these same shitty maps. And it's just, what are we doing? I don't know. There's this weird disconnect where, as far as I look at the Highguard team, and I'm like, man, you guys maybe just lacked direction or needed to cut some things or change some things up. And then I look at things like Battlefield 6, and I'm like, you guys aren't doing what made your games good in the first place. You finally came back, boots on ground, military style background, and you had the community back. You took people away from Call of Duty to come play your game, and it's just as mundane as 2042. Like I don't get it, where these live service games, to me, that's why I'm like, man, I'm working through my single player backlog, because I'm not going to put in the time and effort to some of these games when it just feels like they're not for me. And that's okay. That's why I'm like, but I'm not going to be loud about it on the internet. I just won't play it. It's not for me. It's what we all used to do
when we were normal. All right, let's dive into some other pieces of news here. We'll get through some of these things somewhat quickly. I think a lot of this is actually really interesting, and let's walk through holiday sales. So Sony's holiday PS5 sales dropped 16% compared to last year. The company has now shipped 92.2 million PS5 consoles in a total around the world, but sales were down sharply over the last holiday season compared to last year. In its latest earnings report, the company said it shipped 8 million PS5s during its key third quarter, 1.5 million, 16% lower than some of the same period last year. The gaming division still made more profit, though, thanks to a boost in software sales and a low yen. Sony's first 2 fiscal quarters saw an increase in PS5 sold, so the holiday decline is a bit surprising. That said, sales during the same period in the previous year were an outlier at 9.5 million units sold. Far and away its best period since the console went on sale in November of 2020. Software sales, however, were exceptional in Q3 this year. Sony sold 97.2 million games compared to 95.9 million the year before and boosted digital sales up to 76%. Up 2% year over year. Sony said it now saw a record 132 million monthly active users on the PlayStation Network. New games on the horizon for PS5 include Resident Evil Requiem, Avowed, and Bungie's Marathon. With PS5 sales down a bit, it raises the question about the company's next console. When the next console is coming, the PS4 went 7 years before being replaced, but continued to strong sales results, high RAM prices, and recent hardware updates. Analysts figure that the PS5 is likely to have a longer cycle. When the PS5 does arrive, however, it could triple the performance of PS. When the PS6, does arrive, however, it could triple the performance of the PS5. Now, we also have a little bit of information on how the other platforms performed as well. Switch was down. Actually, PlayStation 5 outsold the Switch 2 on the holiday season, which was kind of the craziest piece. The Switch 2 was brand new and didn't quite meet expectations. Other performers, the niche Next Playground console unexpectedly outperformed the Xbox Series S and X during Black Friday week, capturing 14% of the market. Xbox had a horrible holiday season. No one's buying Xboxes. They raised the prices twice. I think it's out of everyone's reach now financially. There's no real reason to invest in an Xbox console at this point. So that is, for the like $700 or $800 that you can buy an Xbox now, just go buy a PC and get Game Pass. It'll probably run about the same. It's crazy the downfall that Xbox has had here. But we also kind of there's a few stories I'm going to lump together here because they all encompass the same thing, which that article spoke about, which is the RAM shortage. The first thing here is that there is a rumor that Sony is considering holding back PlayStation 6 until 2028 or 2029. On top of that,
no shot.
You think it's coming out before 2028, 2029?
Definitely not 29. There's no fucking way this. I'll keep going. I'll give my 2 cents. But
okay. There's also a Steam Deck shortage. So Valve warns that the Steam Deck is now sold out, and the shortage might not be resolved anytime soon. This comes from Gamer Rant. The Steam Deck is officially sold out in the US and may not come back in stock until the RAM shortage clears up. While there are many handheld PC options out there today, the one popularized the platform has remained one of gamers' favorites. Although it can be tricky for fans to get their hand on right now, it seems that Steam Deck is not immune to the memory and storage supply crisis sweeping across the hardware market. So obviously, this is really big. Valve also has their next gen Steam machine that's slated to come out at some point soon too. So this RAM shortage is affecting Valve. Nvidia is also saying that it will not release new graphics cards in 2026 due to the RAM shortage. This comes from Engadget.com. Nvidia won't release new graphics cards this year. Gamers, we have AI data centers to power is the kind of like the subtitle.
All you fucking people that are listening that have changed your Facebook profile picture to this. Have you seen this trend?
I've seen it.
You just used 500 gallons of water and I can't get a 5090 because of you.
Yep. It's insane, right? They're investing a little bit more in their AI capabilities and their the upscaling and things like that to kind of I think even out for this. But this is, I mean, this is catastrophic, I think, for a lot of folks who maybe don't have a PS5 or want to upgrade their graphics card or their RAM. Like everything, if you are planning to get a console, it's not going to get cheaper than it is today. It is only going to get more expensive in the next year. I think probably everyone's going to try to raise their prices again. Stock is going to be really difficult. It's going to be hard to find consoles. I am of a mind that I think 2028 could be. I think 29 is probably not a possibility for PS6, but 2028 might be. Now, the other thing to think about, Joseph, here too, is that Sony's having 2 consoles released with the PS6. Now, this is where I think Sony could make a really smart decision, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, but they need stuff for both the handheld PS6 and the PS6. So, I mean, that's double the components, double the things that they need to gather worldwide when everyone's eating up RAM to filter these AI data centers, right? So I think it could be interesting if they don't label the new handheld, Sony handheld, as a PS6 handheld, and they label it as the Sony Edge, or who knows, right? Like one of these, like give it another name and release it independently of the PS6 before the PS6. Because all of this eco mode stuff that you're seeing on your PS5, like if you boot up a game and there's a little leaf in the corner, guess what? That game is optimized already for that Sony handheld. That's what they're doing. They're engineering this stuff that way so that eco mode things can run. Anyways, the long short of it is that new consoles are going to be tough to come by. Prices are going to be outrageous. I'm glad I just bought my graphics card because the same graphics card that I bought a couple months ago is way more expensive now. It's a tough time if you want to upgrade your current rig, or if you want to get a PS5 Pro, which now I'm like, if this console isn't coming out until
might want to get one.
Maybe I will get one because all of this upscaling and new PSSR stuff that PlayStation's talking about, it could actually be a massive upgrade now. And I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot of threads to pull on here. I'll kick it over to you between Steam Deck, Sony, Nvidia. It's kind of a tough time to be a gamer right now, just because AI is eating everybody's lunch.
So at the end of my thought, I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat and go all conspiracy theory on you. But
yes,
that first, I don't remember what article it was talking about, but where they claimed that the PS6 could potentially be triple the power. No, the fuck it won't. So these dev kits have been out for a while for the PS6. Yeah. We know that. I think we covered that last year at some point, that the PS6 dev kits are in the wild. When a dev kit is out there, I mean, yes, you can gradually make changes over time, but this console ostensibly is somewhere in the realm of performance capability of how it will be at launch. I do think if you see PS6 like Switch or whatever their handheld is release early, I'm 100% with you. I think that's this shortage region. They're just like, just get the shitty one out and we can work on the big rig and call it the PS6 Pro instead of having 2 SKUs like they were originally. I could see that happening. You know what I mean? Because if you go from like, we don't have these RAM shortages, but we have this console that's handheld, it's cool, it can compete with Switch. We already beat them in terms of sales with the PS5. Switch is underperforming. Switch 2 is underperforming. I could see them just go ahead and throw that thing out, right? Slap $599 on it, get it out. I still stand by. I think we're going to get a state of play again at the end of the year, sometime in September or November, and that's when you'll have your announcement of the PlayStation 6. And I still am standing by 2027, late 27, Christmas 27, or spring 28 for launch of PS6. I still say that happens.
Yeah, I think 28 is probably the safer bet at this point, right? With all of this, I mean, I guess the big thing that we don't know, right, is how much they already have bought for it. Does that make sense? Like if they have the parts already, if Sony has already acquired a large amount of parts for the PS6 and they have enough to ship 50 million, I don't know. Maybe that makes a difference, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that this shortage definitely is going to affect this. I think what I just said is what they wanted to happen. I think they want to reveal it in 2026 and have it come out holiday of next year. I think this is going to fuck a lot of that up. Tinfoil hat time.
Yes. Yeah, give it to me.
Does the year 1983, does that mean anything to you?
1983
in terms of video games. Do you know what happened then?
No.
That was the video game crash. So in 1983, the video game crash market, that's where you remember hearing the stories of ET being like buried in the Arizona desert and all that. Or it may have been New Mexico. I don't know. But in 1983, the video game market crashed. It was like oversaturation. There were too many consoles, not enough really shitty games, right? I've heard that it's a possibility we might be heading towards the same realm in a just different capacity. It was oversaturation of shitty games. I think Colin Moriarty on Sacred Symbols said at one point a few months back that, PlayStation 2, and I'm spitballing these numbers. These are completely non-accurate. This is just kind of like what I'm trying to convey is that like the PS2 had, a library of 2,500, 5,000 or something, 2,500 games, right? Steam alone had over 18,000 games released last year in 1 year. Now you couple that with just the cost of living and survivability. I mean, there's your numbers for why these consoles aren't selling. No
one's got the money to spend on them.
Why I have a Switch 1, Switch 2. I think a lot of your normal not hardcore gamer audience underestimated the Switch 2. They weren't, and to be honest, I think unless you watched Nintendo Direct, they didn't do a very good job of advertising how much more powerful the Switch 2 is comparatively to the Switch 1. So I think your average Joe just thought, I already have a Switch. I don't really need this, right? When it's fundamentally way better than we all thought it would be. So I think that affected Switch sales. Cost of living, food. I went to a local fast food chain just because I wanted a snack the other day, and I was like, let me get some fried jalapenos. A small box of fried jalapenos was $6. I was like, it's not even a full jalapeno. And a jalapeno is 89 cents or 98 cents at the grocery store. So cost of living, that's affected this. Now the RAM, the prices, so many people that have moved on from console gaming to PC gaming is affecting these sales numbers. You couple that with games like Highguard, Concord, who knows what's going to come next. People are shitting on everything left and right. Either it's too woke or it doesn't have what I want. And are we potentially going to see a lot of these games not come out, be rushed? You've seen studios lay off people like crazy since COVID because they hired so many people to work from home and then had to lay them off because they couldn't afford to keep them in the office.
Yep.
So eventually, to me, just looking at it from the outside in, the dam's gonna break at some point, right? Like if there's so many games, but nobody's playing them or playing what they want, how do you like Highguard, like I said, 3 to 5 years possibly, had to have a budget. I'll just see. Let's see.
Highguard budget. It came out today that Tencent was their secret.
Well, there you
backer.
Go.
There you go.
It exceeded $200 million in a budget. Like that's, Phil Spencer talks about sustainability in Xbox. We all knew that was a joke. Like that right there alone, $200 million on a game that has 938 players on Steam. There's your sustainability. We could be heading towards a video game crash at some point. That's my tinfoil conspiracy. It's like it won't be like we're burying copies, but it's like you're going to see studios shut down. Like you're going to see this with this Highguard team. They're probably going to shut down. Ashes of Creation. Everybody jumped ship. Now there's a class action lawsuit against the main director of that studio. The asinine amount of numbers that have just fired people left and right and layoffs and people bouncing around from studio to studio. Man, back in the you're not going to get like a Hideo Kojima or Jeff Kaplan or someone that has been with a company for 20 some odd years making video games for one company. That's just not going to happen anymore. And so in turn, if you don't play someone's piece of art once, they're never going to get the shot to make something better. So I don't know. I think there's a snowball effect of cost, quality, and then just this vitriol of gamers being so self-entitled to, if you don't like it, like I'm actually thinking about like, I'm going to play one good game in my backlog and I'm going to play an indie game, because there's a ton of indie games that are just great quality and of great, experiences that aren't being talked about. And so I think the indie space is what's going to keep the video game market alive.
Yeah, I think indies are incredibly important right now, especially because games are taking a really long time to make. They're really expensive. And when you're thinking about console sales and you're thinking about adoption slowing down, right? Because that's essentially what it is that the adoption of these new, in air quotes, I guess, consoles. Switch 2 is new. And I think with Switch, I think it's a pretty easy reason why they sold less. They didn't appeal to parents. Parents are going to buy their kids a Switch 2, right? And little Jimmy and little Timmy are going to want a Switch 2. And they're going to say, Mommy, Daddy, I want a Switch 2 because, someone down the street has a Switch 2 and oh my God, it's so much better. And they're going to go, is it really? If you can't get the parents on board to buy the kids the Switches, I think that, the gamers bought it. But another thing that a point that you made that I think was really important was that they didn't do a good job of selling the power of this thing. They did not do a good job of saying, hey, when you get this, you're going to be able to play Final Fantasy VII, remake, and it's going to look like this. Like, it's going to be this good. It's not going to be a shit port. It's going to be native. We're going to actually work on the thing, and it's going to be awesome. Like, Cyberpunk is awesome on the Switch too. Never would have thought that. The thing can barely run on a PS4.
They didn't advertise it.
I know, it's nuts, and I think that's on Nintendo for not understanding that people still want power.
I wanted to comment on something you said too. Like little Timmy and Jimmy wanting a Switch 2. I don't think so anymore, because Nintendo historically is they will call themselves still a toy. We're a toy company, right? And it's like, sure, kids today don't want that. You know what they want? They want this fucking thing. And Raid Shadow Legends. Get the cat skin that I keep seeing in my YouTube feed every fucking video I watch. But
money though, Raid Shadow Legends. We'll take your money.
yeah, exactly. And that's where Sponsor it's at. So many people are playing mobile games, these just dog shit live service games, and they're pumping money into skins and things like that. It's just, honestly, if you want to play good games, play single player, play. I mean, be careful with games like Arc Raiders, Marathon, Highguard, Overwatch, Marvel Rivals. Just be careful as a gamer that likes playing everything. Don't invest money into something if you don't intend playing it long term. And that's what they want. They want to hook you so you can keep paying over and over. But the quality tends to do this after launch of a lot of these games. And what happens? It's flavor of the week. We're oversaturated. If this was 2002, Apex Legends would have been the best game ever made, and people would still be playing it. But you have so many games that are released that got to get this one, got to get that one, got to get that one, got to get that one. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather spend my time catching up on, because we have an oversaturation of video games, on these single player experiences. 3 indie games off the top of my head that are installed on my PS5 that are great, that I've touched and I'd like to finish eventually. But like, Indica is a very great game. Sea of Sword. Or Sword of Sea, one of two, very, very cool game. Skate Story. These games are phenomenal. There's a lot of good indie games out there. It is crazy that it is the greatest time to be a video gamer today, but nobody wants to play anything. Most of the people bitching, we hear about like numbers on reports of like Steam achievements and trophies, that most of the people that bitch about everything, you go look at, they haven't done anything. I'm sitting here playing Neo 2 That game came out in 2020. I just beat a mission the other earlier today, and it popped a trophy. And I was just curious. Only 19% of people that have played Neo 2 have beat that mission, and it's nowhere near the end. So how can you talk shit on something if you didn't give it the time of day? So I don't know. Like people are hurting the industry, and the developers and the CEOs and businessmen and the people at the top making these boardroom decisions are hurting the AAA industry. And it's like, I think one day we might be saying, man, you're going to have like 3 years in a row where indie game won game of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just for like shits and giggles, I just pulled up the Highguard, like, Steam reviews, right? This guy's got 0.1 hours on record, 2 hours on record, 3 hours on record,
and all thumbs down.
1 hour on record. Yeah. It's just, I mean, what are you going to do? People want to hate stuff, but I think you're right. Indies are where people should spend more time.
People might well, you shit on it. I didn't really shit on it. I said I think it had too much going on for it, and it wasn't for me. That's not me shitting on it. If you played it for 0.1 hour and then shit on it, that's stupid. Where you're just shitting on them to like, you didn't. It obviously spoke to you enough. You can leave a review and leave your 2 cents, but to just be like, this is the worst thing I've ever played and nah, bro. I can tell you some bad games. I can tell you a lot of bad games I finished too.
I've played a lot of bad games.
I've
played a lot of bad games.
The PS3 era had some of the worst fucking games of all time and some of the best because they were trying new things. And you have, I don't know, like, play what you want, but don't hate something just to hate it. And these developers and publishers need to realize, make your game and make it polished before you show it. Don't stop showing shit that ain't releasing for 5 years. That's another thing they need to stop doing because the hype dies.
Let's change tune a little bit and talk about
good things,
the state of play, and talk about all the good games that are legitimately coming. And honestly, I mean, this you wrote here in the doc, which I did not know, that this was the most watched state of play of all time. Mm-hmm. I watched it live. I sat down and these state of plays, especially this one, which was rumored to be, even before we got our eyes on it, was rumored to be a pretty good one. People were saying, hey, like this might be one you definitely want to check out. They were right. If you haven't checked it out, don't worry, guys. We're going to run you through everything you need to know here about the state of play. We've talked about some of these games somewhat extensively, so we can kind of pick and choose which ones we want to dive into a little bit more. But the first here, I'm taking all of this from the PlayStation blog. This was written by Gillen McAllister. So everything that comes here comes from him and Sony. They first thing on here is 007, and I don't think that this is in order. This is in alphabetical order. This is not in show order. So too bad if you care about show order, just watch it. They debuted a new story trailer for 007 First Light. You got a little bit of a deeper dive into what the story is going to look like. I'm all in for this game. I don't really need to see anything else. This is going to be a day one play and purchase for me. Anything on the story trailer?
I had it wrote down here that stop showing this game.
Yeah, enough, please.
IO, we know you make a good game. We know that you did really good with Hitman Anthology Trilogy and all that, and a World of Assassination. You're constantly providing good updates. My only thing I'm worried about, and this kind of ties into our previous conversation, I'm worried that games are coming out and these consoles aren't going to be powerful enough to run them efficiently or smoothly. Timing, the bigger and more beautiful these games get, the longer they're going to take. And, patches, I think Monster Hunter Worlds last week got a update, or it may have been a month ago, where the game's like runnable on my PC now, like where I can get above 60 FPS and it looks good. But at launch, it was just dog shit. And I've seen stutters and I'm like, is that YouTube or is that the game? Everything says captured on a PS5 Pro. I don't own one. How's this going to be for me? But I don't want to see any more of this game.
Yeah, performance is not going to be good on this game. I can just guarantee that from watching it and from IO's previous Hitman. I mean, those games didn't run particularly well, I believe, on base PS5 and
no, they run great. They run great.
I thought they had performance issues.
All of the, because Hitman, when the reboot came out, was on PS4.
Right.
It was fairly decent. There were like stutters, but then that got patched out. But on PS5 and Series X, especially Hitman 2, that opening scene on the beach is one of the most beautiful openings to a game. So I think they can, but there's in a Hitman game, beautiful environments, static kind of stiff people moving at a slow pace. This is big, like almost Uncharted set pieces. And I don't know how that's going to go with their engine. So that's what has me concerned. But yeah, no, the Hitman games run amazing on console, but there's not a lot going on in them.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm all in. I'll buy it no matter what, because I love James Bond, and I love these kind of like these types of games.
And they've been working on it for forever.
Yeah, they have been. This has been cooking. It's been cooking, man. So I mean, I'm sure I know the story is going to be solid. Gameplay will be fun. It's going to be a good gaming experience, no matter what. Now, the next game we'll talk about here, I'm not so sure about. It's called For Loop. So this is a follow up from, I think they debuted this in December. This comes from Bad Robot Games. It is a 4-player co-op shooter game. Like I don't know. I don't know what you think about this, Joseph. I want this game to be really good because this looks like a Kevin game. Like, I should be all over this. I just think this is gonna not be good. I don't know. It's something about it. I'm looking at it and it doesn't look like it's gonna hit. It looks like it controls wonky. I don't know, man. It doesn't look like the performance is going to be very good. I mean, I have stutters here on their state of play. You know what I mean? So I hope it's good, but I am very, very cautious. This is a wait and see reviews for me before I buy.
Yeah, it didn't appeal to me. There's just a lot going on in this. Bad Robot Games, that's J.J. Abrams' company that he uses. That's his film licensing, so he owns that. Mike Booth is the creator of this, and his claim to fame is obviously Left 4 Dead. So the co-op aspects of it could be good. PvP to me, like co-op only PvE just isn't fun to me.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like it ran particularly well. I don't know. This wasn't for me.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with For Loop. Next game on the list here, I think, is probably right up your alley. This is Beast of Reincarnation. I believe this is the game from the
Game Freak
game, right? So the Pokemon developer. This is, I mean, it looks kind of cool. I really like the art direction of the game. Actually, I think it looks really impressive. There's some cool bosses. It's a kind of, I don't know if it's Souls-like, if you want to call it that, but it's an action game, melee combat centric. Looks cool. You've got like a wolf by your side that fights with you. This is probably not a game that I'll play, but I might. But I'm assuming that this is one that might be on your radar.
No, actually, I remember when I watched this, I saw it and I was just like, Game Freak's making this? Like, y'all could barely get your last open world Pokemon game to run coherently or it looked like shit. I'm like, no. What are you guys doing? You're trying to make like a Wukong, like Soulsy type action RPG. If it runs decent on PC, like if it's like a Game Pass game or something, I might pick it up. But is this it's Game Freak, so it's not Sony exclusive, is it?
I don't think so. Let me see here. Launches on PS5. It's PlayStation blog that I'm looking at. They're probably not going to mention any other.
Here's the Wikipedia. Yeah, it's releasing on Windows, PS5, and Series X and S. So if it runs okay, I could see this. If this becomes a Game Pass game, this might be something that I subscribe for like a month and it runs decently on PC. I might check it out. I don't know. Like this, we're getting oversaturated with these open world action RPGs.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to skip this game. It's called Brigandine Abyss. I don't think you have any interest in this. Neither do I. It is a strategy role-playing game. If you're interested in it, check it out. It is from... honestly, the music was really good from the trailer. But
I had my PlayStation.
It's it's a strategy RPG, very anime.
No,
not either really of our
I don't play
our cups of tea. But the next game on the list is gonna be really, really fun. Castlevania Belmont's Curse. It is a 2D action exploration series. Returns this year on PS5. Castlevania Belmont's Curse recaptures the gothic action in a whole new way as development duties are shared between Konami, Evil Empire, and Motion Twin. New weapons and abilities join classic tools, all envisioned with a brand new art style. I gotta say, man, I think this looks really, really good. I think the art style is awesome. It looks like the animations are just, oh my god, they look Hades level good, and Hades has some awesome animations. So this is going to be a big one. I'll probably pick this up, honestly, and maybe this will be a good re-entry into the Castlevania series for me. I'm terrible at these games, but I just, something about the art direction is really speaking to me. But I know you're a huge Castlevania guy, so I'll give you the floor here, Joseph.
I went from 6 to midnight when I saw this, man. Like, I've been waiting and waiting for a new Castlevania. It has been, I think, the last mainline entry Castlevania was like 2014, maybe. I'm gonna look that up because the last one was Lords of Shadows 2 was 2014. The last Metroidvania type Castlevania game was I think it was Order of Ecclesia, which was 2008. This is going to be made by the same people that made Dead Cells, which there's a Castlevania DLC to Dead Cells. Dead Cells is one of the great Metroidvanias. It's a roguelike Metroidvania that is challenging. This looks damn good, man. And the fact that Konami came out with such a presence, they had a whole segment in this state of play dedicated to Konami. Makes me happy that, we're not just going to make pachinko machines anymore. So, like, having Castlevania and being you're playing as Trevor Belmont, which is he's the main star of he's who you play in is Castlevania 3, which was one of the better Castlevanias before Symphony of the Night. It was probably the best Castlevania, and then obviously the Netflix series is Trevor Belmont. So and it takes place in France. You know, you've got the Cathedral of Notre Dame in the background, and you know, just seeing the Dracula's castle. I can't wait to see what's in store for this. So this is day one buy for me. Super excited. Love me some 2D platformers. I'm an 80s 90s kid, so excited for this.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. And then following it up with another banger. We talked a little bit about this game earlier, Control Resonant. So this is Remedy's new game. It is a direct sequel from the information that they've shared to Control 1. This game looks absolutely stunning. It looks super cool. Melee focused, so not third person shooter focused like the first Control. It's going to be a little bit different, more in your face. The level design that they showed off, the combat looks awesome. This is another game. I don't need to see anything else from this at all. I'm sold. But I mean, when we're talking about just releases on a normal state of play, taking a look at, Castlevania or Control, it's a good state of play. But the games, they keep going. Like they there are so many great games here to talk about. But yeah, Control, I'm in. I don't know. Remedy makes great games. This is going to be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. That's one reason I'm playing through Control, because I never finished. I think I only put like 2 hours into it. But Remedy does not make bad games, and I think that's a testament to their development of why they make great games. Is this is a direct sequel, but it completely plays different, has a almost like kind of pseudo open world feel to it, and I can't wait. So yeah, Remedy doesn't make bad games, but Remedy. Where's the Max Payne 1 through 3 remakes or 1 and 2 remakes that are rumored? I really want to see those.
Me
but
too.
I'll settle for this.
I love Max Payne 3. That's one hell of a game. Crimson Moon is the next game that was, I believe this was an announcement. This is an action adventure RPG developed by Probably Monsters. This is what the write-up says. You'll battle alone or join forces with a friend. Be ready, though, as co-op amplifies the intensity with dynamic difficulty scaling and enemy composition, ensuring every mission feels personal and fresh. Whether fighting side by side or carving your own path, the goal remains the same: purge the darkness and reclaim the city. The game launches later this year. This actually looks kind of cool. Not for me, but maybe for me. I don't know. The art style is kind of interesting. It's not cartoony, but it's not photorealistic either. It has an aesthetic that I typically like. Honestly, I mean, maybe is this a bad comparison? Like, I don't know if you're looking at it right now, Joseph, but maybe even a little Diablo-like in its styling, like a Diablo 3-ish styling. I don't know. It looks interesting.
So the main character, I was gonna say when you were gonna let me talk about it, because I knew you were gonna be interested. I thought the first thing that came to mind when I saw this, I was like, oh, they just straight up ripped off Galadriel from Diablo. Like he looks like the angels, all the angels from Diablo look exactly like this. The game itself kind of doesn't have great graphics. It reminded me. Did you ever see Kingdoms of Amalur?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what this looks like to me. It looks like because there was no targeting. You played third person action RPG kind of hack and slash, had different, you could do magic, you could do melee. This kind of almost seems like an homage to, that was the first thing I thought, was like, this looks like Kingdoms of Amalur.
Yep.
Gameplay wise. And it kind of has like that, like a PS2 remastered, PS3 remastered look to it. So that's what came to mind on that. But yeah, they 100% either. It's probably a love letter to Diablo. It's third person Diablo, because people have asked that of Blizzard. Are we ever going to get like a third person action adventure Diablo game? That's always been, Diablo fans kind of have always wanted to try that. And I think this team, Spearsoft, which I tried finding out more about them, I guess I couldn't find anything in the time it took to talk about it, but it looks like that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I might check this out. This is a wait and see for me, personally. But then there was another game announced called Darwin's Paradox. This is a game about an octopus, which actually looked pretty interesting. Octopus Darwin slithered into state of play with two announcements. First, a release date of April 2nd. Secondly, the surprise announcement, not only of a demo, but a demo that will be available tomorrow. So it's out now. And that demo's content is directly inspired by Metal Gear Solid. Play the tactical octopus action demo tomorrow, so you can get your hands on this and play it if you want. Looks really cute. Looked pretty fun. I thought, whimsical. This is one of those games that we were talking about earlier, right? It's like, these indie games, these smaller games are going to keep things alive and fresh for us. So, anything to say about this one, Joseph?
I just think it's cool that we need more games for kids, and especially having a big time publisher like Konami, where ZDT Studio, never heard of them. I guess it's their I
couldn't find the studio.
ZDT Studios. They're out of Paris, France. This is going to be their first game that they got picked up by Konami. So Konami put in a Metal Gear level, but you saw the rest of the gameplay. It has nothing to do with that. That's just what it's called. It looks really cool. I'm not going to play it, but apparently they drew inspiration from games like Limbo and Little Nightmares, which you can totally see throughout the
Little Nightmares
through
all over
the
the place on this,
the trailer.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Interesting game. Next, Dead or Alive 6 last round.
Here you go, Gooners.
I have no interest in this, but hey, Gooners, you've got a fighting game for you. Congratulations, I guess.
As soon as they showed off the photo mode, did you see during the trailer they paused it and like photo mode is supposed to, everything stops, but them titties were still just.
Yep. It's insane. Like, good on them for making the same. This has been the style since, when was the first Dead or Alive? Was that Dreamcast? When did the first Dead or Alive? Dead or Alive 1
or PlayStation 1?
Dead or Alive video game. Let me see. Installment, Red Dead, Team Ninja. Just give me the fucking platform. Sega Model 2 was the arcade system. It was Sega Saturn and PlayStation. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. And what's crazy is this art style, and it looks the fucking same since like the PS2.
Yep.
It's just,
I mean, it really has not
crazy.
Changed
the fighting community loves Dead or Alive. Like it's up there. I think more people play Dead or Alive than they do Mortal Kombat. And so, fighting game fans, I guess, congrats. You get your jiggle physics and all. And Ryu from Ninja Gaiden, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm looking at gameplay from the first Dead or Alive right now. It's so funny, dude. Awesome. Anyways. Okay. Yeah, Dead or Alive, for those who care about fighting games. I'm not a fighting game person. They announced Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is coming to PC. We knew that was coming. This is alphabetical order. So they kind of ended with some God of War announcements, and the big one here is that they are doing a God of War trilogy remake. This had me so hyped. I love those 3 God of War games. They are some of my favorite action games of all time. I think they are just impeccably made from an action standpoint, the story standpoint. They're fine. They're good. It's not a Sony first party story today where you get all of these in-depth characters, but that's kind of why I like it, right? It's Kratos going and killing gods and doing, gory god shit. It's fun, and I'm very excited to see what they do with these remakes. I'm hoping that they don't change much. I'm hoping that it is very much like, hey, up the resolution a little bit, maybe add some new enemy types and, some minor things here or there. But please bring back these games the way that we want to see them, because they deserve that type of love and care. But are you excited for the remake trilogy here?
Cautiously optimistic. I love those games. I love them all. I love 1 and 2 more than 3, even though I know a lot of people prefer 3 out of all of them. 1 and 2, especially 1, has a special place in my heart. That kind of was around the time where, PS2 I got was like really became the gamer that I am today during that era. And that first game was up there in one of the games that I loved playing on PlayStation 2. And so, don't fuck up. That's all I got to say. And hopefully, I would have been happy with just a remaster, just a collection to put them on in the same way with the trophies and put them on PS5. But it's going to be interesting. I saw, do you think they'll keep the sex mini game in it? I highly doubt it.
I think you have to. I think you have to.
I think they should. I don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's part of the game, and it like you can knock it off and shrug it off as like, oh, as misogynistic and this, that, the other. But I think it actually does add a layer of what's the word I'm looking for? It adds a layer of not realism, but I think it adds depth to the world and to the way these characters interface with the world. I think it says something about Kratos and his not laissez-faire, but almost this like it adds to his bravado, to this pride, to this ego that he has.
It was part of his nihilistic point of view, and like why he just didn't give a shit about anything, and it told stories kind of in some, not necessarily, I think because it was in the first game if I remember correctly, but maybe not so much the first game, but as it continued, like I think I think you have to do that. But I hope it's as like an RE4 remake to God of War. Like, make it look good, but keep the heart of it there.
Yeah, and do the PSP games too, because those are also really, really good.
Yeah.
They're really, really good. The PSP games are, in my opinion, just as good as some of those mainline entries, if not.
Ghost of Sparta is amazing.
It's awesome, isn't it? Yeah, it's such a great game. Okay, the next thing here on the list is Ghost of Yotei Legends. Strike through March 10th on your calendars, Warriors. Oh, which is strike through. That's cool. Yeah. I've played the game. As that's the day Ghost of Yotei Legends launches. This supernaturally challenged cooperative multiplayer update will be available to all Yotei players in the game's 1.5 update with distinct character classes to earn cosmetics, blah, blah, blah. There's a promise of a raid in the coming months. I think they're launching with 2 or 3 modes. The same Legends mode as last time, and then sort of kind of like this zone capturing mode, which seems similar but a little bit different. And then they promised a raid, which is like so cool. I can't wait. I'll be all over this. The combat in Yotei is amazing. Like, I played most of Tsushima. I played a lot of the Legends mode because I liked the combat. The combat's even better in this, so I cannot wait to see what this is and how they land this plane, because I think it's going to be really neat and interesting. And there are a lot of fans of Legends from the first game, so it'll be really cool to see.
For sure. This makes me like, this alone is like, damn it, I wish I would have picked Control. So I got to get through Control as quick as I can so I can get good at Yotei's combat, because I want to play this. I do want to play this.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I can't wait to play it.
This next one, bro, got me almost out of my chair.
You're talking about John Wick?
Mm-hmm.
John Wick. Saber Interactive is working with the creators of the action movie franchise to create a previously unseen chapter in the life of John Wick. Let's let you play as Baba Yaga himself. The studio is promising the signature elements from John Wick movies to be present in the game, from unique use of camera work, bold cinematic environments, and extremely distinctive gun-fu action and intense driving experiences. The game is coming to PS5, but no release date. An official title is not yet known. So this is early. I'm wondering how early this is. Hopefully it's not super early, but man, this looks badass. It looks gruesome. It just looks super cool. I know you're a big John Wick guy though, so take it from here.
Well, I really only truly liked the first film, but it's like, this has, and I guess maybe it's, again, the PS2 era, the Matrix games with the had Keanu Reeves' character in. I just feel like, sorry, I'm trying to Google. When I said it made me get up out of my game, or get me out of my chair until I saw Saber Interactive. I was like, damn it, really? Because they just they're known for doing like ports of lots of games. They're not known for, I'm trying to see, like, what was their last like actual developed game? They've got that Jurassic Park survival game coming out that, again, did you see that? It's like the chick that got announced, I think a couple of years ago. Haven't seen anything from that, and that has me worried because it's Saber Interactive. So I don't know, like Roadcraft.
Let me see. Yeah. Russia Madrid.
Clive Barker's Hellraiser is 2026, but that's not out. And then the last Saber Interactive game that was developed by Saber was just a lot of VR games. So I don't know. They've done a lot of ports, so I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait on this one, but I mean, it's going to get a lot of traction because John Wick is really, really popular.
I wish Slow Clap, the guys that did Sifu, could be involved in some way, because the combat is so similar that I think that would go really good. But who knows? Maybe it almost looked too good to be true.
Yes, I mean, it was a cutscene, right? So, but I don't know. It'll be a wait and see for me.
They did show gameplay at the end, and it was very cinematic gameplay. It's almost like,
I'm looking now. Yeah.
It's almost like, is this going to be QuickTime eventy, or how are we going to do this? But I'm glad Keanu Reeves is involved in this.
Yeah. I forgot that they did show this little piece of gameplay here. It looks like Uncharted deaths. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of looks like Uncharted 3, like when you're in the bar scene and he, Nathan Drake like takes the guy and slams his head on. Like it looks like that type of stuff, which I love. Very, very Naughty Dog, very Last of Us 2. Um, uh, with characters interacting with the world and using environments to kill people and stuff. So it's cool. Kenna, Scars of Cosmora. Not interested in this game. I wasn't interested in the first Kenna, but if you are, it's here for you. Joseph, anything to say about this game?
This makes me want to play the first game. I thought about downloading this because I have the PlayStation Plus and letting my daughter, the first one from my daughter, I was like, oh, that'd be a cute little game for her to play. This, I don't know, like this looks better to me than the Game Freak game. I would rather play this than what I saw from Game Freak because I can already tell this is going to be a polished, fun, pretty looking game. So,
yeah.
And like I said, we need more of these types. This just reminds me of that era of gaming where like God of War and some of these PS2 type games where it's just a video game. You know what I mean? It tells a story. Yep. It's not great. It's not trying to be The Last of Us or Ghost of Yotai or anything like that or God of War 2018, but it's a video game and it's fun. And this looked way better. It looked pretty. This made me want to play the first Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah, I might go back and play it. I'm looking at the gameplay now. The first one didn't jump out at me. The gameplay looks pretty fun. You're right. It does kind of give you that PS2, PS3 vibe, third person type action game, melee, stuff. And visually, it looks stunning. It looks really good. So maybe it's a maybe for me. Ember Lab. What else did they develop?
And I think Kenna was their first game.
That could be.
Yeah, just Kenna.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Next thing, Legacy of Kain, Defiance Remastered. So a remaster of Legacy of Kain. This is cool for all you Legacy of Kain fans. I never played Legacy of Kain. So maybe this will be a good entry point for me into the series. But anything, did you play the first Legacy of Kain?
So I never played actual Legacy of Kain. I played Soul Reaver. What's cool about this is, for one, for games preservation, right? Like just keeping some of this old stuff alive. And they're actually really cool. The lore's deep. He's a vampire king that controls the undead. But getting to play this, and they're also doing the unreleased sequel that never came out is going to be included in it. And I think that's awesome. Like to just go back and say, yeah, we're going to finish this game. It's going to look just like the PS1, PS2, just updated. And here you go. That's so rad to me.
It is rad. And it's nice that they're doing this. I mean, there are a lot of Legacy of Kain fans, so it'll sell well,
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right. Next, Marathon. We've talked a lot about Marathon, but they showed a bunch of new kind of gameplay elements here from the alpha. The first biggest change is that visually it looks way better. The environments look better, indoor, outdoor. You can tell they put a lot of time and effort and love into this. Right after this, the game director actually streamed with Burnt Peanut and Gingy, and they played for like 2.5 hours. I watched a lot of that stream as well. Game looks good. I'm in. I don't need to see anything else. The biggest announcement here, Server Slam. So the Server Slam is going to be at the end of the month.
Next Thursday.
It's next Thursday, February 26th through the 3rd, I think, or the 2nd. So you'll have a weekend to be able to play it. Make or break for Bungie, man. This Server Slam, I'm hoping that people get in and really like it for them. I think Bungie needs a little bit of a hit here, especially with how they've kind of abandoned Destiny at the moment. It's got to be worth it, right, for them. Like, you got to think that the team is banking a lot here on Marathon and just the state of how the game launches. I'm actually hopeful for this. I think this game will win people over based on what I've seen. Massive improvements between now and the alpha. The environments look cool. They've fixed a lot of the issues I had with the UI where everything just kind of felt really flat. So yeah, I don't need to see anything else from this. I will be there day one of the server slam on that Thursday, no doubt about it. I won't be there on Friday because I think I'm actually seeing a comedy show in Tampa, but I'll be back on the weekend to play this. And no matter what happens, I'll probably be buying this on day one.
Yeah, I don't need to see anything else more of Marathon. I've had my fill. The thing that sucks is I work 9:30 to 9:30 on Thursday, and then I work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday. So I won't get to really play until Saturday. That sucks.
Yeah. But it'll still be there for you. It's a long server slam. So and I guarantee we all know Bungie's servers. They suck.
Yeah, nobody will probably get to play till Saturday anyway. So
exactly. Yeah, it's honestly, you probably will not be alone. So that's cool. Marvel. The next one is it Marvel? Is it Tokon?
Tokon Fighting Souls.
They released a couple. The X-Men characters are coming. I mean, this game looks awesome, man. If you're a fighting game fan, I mean, you're going to be eating good with this thing. I don't like fighting games because I'm really bad at them.
Same.
But I love the art style of this. It's so appealing to me. I think these characters and designs are some of the coolest designs for these characters that I've seen. So good on y'all. Adding X-Men is really cool too. I don't even know who Danger is. She's like one of the characters that they announced. But Storm is coming. Obviously Wolverine. It's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to see what happens here.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is the live service type of Marvel Fighters Capcom game that they used to make back in the day that we get like they do with this what they've done with Rivals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep adding characters over time, make the roster huge, have a good game for people that want to enjoy fighting games. Because I mean, superheroes are a no-brainer in fighting games, right?
Yeah.
So I'm all for this. I won't play it, but I'm happy that something like this exists.
Yeah, me too. It looks of the highest quality. So that's super cool. All right. Here's one. Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2 launches August 27th this year on PS5, packing together Metal Gear Solid 4, Sons of the Patriots.
Guns.
Metal Gear Solid. What did I say?
Sons. It's Guns of the Patriots.
Get it right. Of the Patriots.
Nerd.
Metal Gear Solid. Peace Walker, and the series' first portable title, Metal Gear Ghost Babel, as a bonus title along with some extras that will thrill long-term fans of Konami's stealth series. Joseph, you had to be excited about this, huh?
I had this.
Isn't Peace Walker regarded as super, super good?
Oh, Peace Walker's amazing. I've played it first on Vita. It came to PSP first, I believe, and then it was on Vita and PS3. I played it on Vita. I loved Peace Walker, but I didn't. It had so many systems to it that I didn't give it its proper time of day until later, and when it was on the PS3. And I wish I would have. I watched on YouTube because I'm a huge Metal Gear nut. That I watched the lore, so I know the whole story of Peace Walker. It's a direct sequel to Metal Gear Solid 3. And so, the big thing for most Metal Gear fans is finally Metal Gear Solid 4 is no longer stranded on the PlayStation 3. This game came out in 2008, has been on the PlayStation 3 only, has been the only way to do it unless you do PC emulation on PS3 emulator. Which I don't do, and so I have my original copy. I have the game guide in pristine condition still. So I'm so excited for this. There are a couple of games that I really thought they would put into this that they didn't. I really thought we would get Portable Ops, which was the first PSP game. It's not considered canon by Kojima, but it is a very fun game nonetheless. I also was hoping we would get the Twin Snakes, which was Silicon Knights, who's defunct now, but they made the Metal Gear Solid 1 in Metal Gear Solid 2 style remake for the GameCube. I have that game as well. I was really hoping we would get that because I want a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. It would be really cool to play those control styles in Metal Gear, even though they they didn't dub the voice acting, which they should have. They had everybody come back and re-record the lines, and it's a little over the top in some of the cutscenes. And it takes away kind of the darkness of the story of the first Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation. Twin Snakes is a great game, and I was kind of disappointed, but I don't care. I finally get to play Metal Gear Solid 4 and beat that game, and then watch the 1.5 hour long cutscene at the end of the game because Kojima's so much up his own ass. But this game was total fan service. Kojima did not want to do it, but Metal Gear Solid 2 ended on a cliffhanger. Then 3 is a prequel. People were like, what the fuck, bro? Where's Snake? What happened with this story? Where's Raiden? What's up with this baby? Who's this kid? And this game tells it all. And it's a very long game, and it's a very good game. It's only for, you're only going to like Metal Gear Solid 4 if you like Metal Gear Solid as a series. Other than that, if you played Metal Gear Solid 4 and never played anything, you'd be like, what the fuck is this piece of shit? Like the DeVito meme, you know, like, but I will be there day one. I hope it doesn't have the performance issues that the Volume 1 collection had on PlayStation and PC. They also did announce really cool, touch base on this. They updated as of today, Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 collection. They made an HD upgrade to Metal Gear Solid 1, so it looks really good, and I kind of want to go play it because they smoothed everything out to accommodate, I think, like 1440p, and it's above the resolution that'll fit the screen now, I think, and just to play a PlayStation 1 game that looks like that is kind of interesting. Somebody's like, well, you took the soul out of it. I'm like, bro, that game came out in 98. Everything looks like a cube. Like, who cares? I'm just give it love. More Metal Gear. This gives me hope that we get, like, I would like to see Metal Gear Solid 6, which would be like a remake of Metal Gear 1 and 2 that were on the Nintendo. Because those, I don't think you make a sequel. The story ends with 4 canonically. So I think, but those first 2 games that are just like Nintendo sprites, but there's actual deep lore to it. I would like to see them make those games a la Metal Gear Solid 5 style open world. So it gives me hope that Metal Gear is not dead as a franchise.
Yeah. I mean, they're investing time and effort into these games. So maybe they're gearing up for something bigger. You never know. All right. Next, Mina the Hollower. Shovel Knight Studio Yacht Games joined to share new gameplay and a PS5 demo of Mina the Hollower. The action-packed adventure launches in the spring of 2020. Launches this spring on PS5 and promises to be the creator's largest game yet, boasting a densely packed world of 25 unique bosses, 60 trinkets, weapon upgrades, and a level system, New Game Plus, hundreds of gameplay modifiers, blah, 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 and so much more. You can try it for yourself tomorrow. They dropped a demo. Still no release date for this game. I mean, shit, when was this thing announced? A long time ago, I think.
That's what I'm trying to look up. This studio, Yacht Club Games, has been into some shit, and this game better be good. I'm going to play it because I loved Shovel Knight, but this game got announced. I remember hearing that on the PlayStation 4, man. Like,
yeah, let me see. You know, the Hollower announcement date. If we February. Oh my god.
February 2022.
2022
was when its Kickstarter campaign started for a 2D like basically Link's Awakening type game.
It looks fucking awesome though, I gotta say. I mean,
it looks rad.
It looks so. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be super cool. They put so much love into this game. I mean, this looks like I mean, this looks like a Game Boy game. It looks so good.
I almost wish like Sony would just buy Yacht Club at this point, or somebody would, so we could. They're talented, and like I want more, Nintendo, Super Nintendo style games, but with today's ability and level of detail and things that you could do. So they deserve the money, but they went through some shit. I think they've had like changes in directors of this game. It's been in development hell. So
yeah, it's been tough, but I know it's going to be good. Just from the gameplay, it looks awesome. So looking forward to that. Next game, Neva Prologue. Set years before the events of the original game, this prologue tells the story of how Alba and the wolf cub Neva Neva, Neva, Neva. Let's go with Neva.
I've never heard of the first game.
I've never given a shit about how to pronounce their name. You must guide the cub through blighted wilderness, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of one of those artsy fartsy games. And that's not a knock on it whatsoever. Looks really beautiful. Looks super cool. Won't play it, but
it's one of those. It's made by Devolver. They have a ton of games. Some are good, some are not. This, I don't know. Like, to me, if you're gonna do something like have good gameplay, like if you're gonna make it like this, like not Celeste, but what was the game that kind of looked like this, but it was a platformer.
Like this, but a platformer.
It had the girl with the crown. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I have it literally. I have it on PlayStation. But I have never booted it.
I want to say Celeste, but that's not right. It's called anyway, it doesn't matter. But
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Somebody's screaming at their yeah, I have it on PlayStation in my library too. Somebody's screaming at this screen right now. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Looks fun. Pragmata. I don't need to see any more of this game either. And hot take here.
No, it's not gonna be. I'm gonna agree with you. I guarantee I know what you're about to say.
I don't want to play this fucking game, and I think the girl looks creepy.
It's too. There's too much reality and anime. It's kind of jarring. I don't like it, and it's just. I get Capcom has been in a huge resurgence. Capcom is releasing banger after banger. If Monster Hunter Wilds came out and ran good originally, they are winning. Requiem looks great. I don't know what this game is. The voice acting seems weird as fuck. Like the dude doesn't like, I don't know. Like, it might be one of those. Is it just me or does it feel like they were trying to make their own Death Stranding or something like that?
It's got that kind of vibe, right? Like it has,
10-cent Death Stranding or something.
I will say, like, I really like the environmental design. Like, I think some of these environments that they're walking through and stuff look really neat. But like, I don't know, man. There's a shot. I don't know if you're looking at the trailer. I'm like rewatching the trailer. There's a shot at like 49 seconds of the little girl.
Hold on. Hang on, let me scroll back down.
Okay. She's like running away, and she's like,
at 49 seconds.
Yeah, it's just like a brief shot of her running away, and it looks horrendous.
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
I don't know what it is, but I was watching the state of play and I saw that and I was like, oh, I think I'm out.
This looks like a game that once I roll credits, I'm still not going to know what the fuck I just played.
I'm crying. I literally can't. I can't believe.
She was like, her expression didn't change.
Oh my gosh. It's so bad. But like, I don't know. Yeah. Something about the game is off to me. If the reviews are really good, I'll have to play it. But oh my god! I mean, she's dead. She doesn't look like a human. Oh my god, she looks like an android or something. Like it looks like someone taught her how to emote. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is how humans look when they're happy. And she's like, oh my god, so bad.
Exit stage left, but have that weird creepy. What is going on in this game, man? I don't know. And this is another one that like got announced. Wait, like this was like announced in 2020. I feel like or some shit. I don't know.
Momentum is weird. I'm reading a comment on YouTube that says "Dad Space."
yeah. The last Stranding.
Oh shit! All right. Project Windless. This was interesting. Coming to PS5. Project Windless is a dark fantasy open world action RPG inspired by the Korean novel series The Bird That Drinks Tears. That's fucking. First of all, that's badass. The bird that drinks tears. That's just a badass name of a book. The game will tap into a point thousands of years before the source material, having you play as one of the Reckons, nomadic warrior race of humanoid birds known for immense physical strength and size. Looks so cool. Like I saw this, and as soon as I saw that it was a bird character, it looks like oh my god, dude. We literally Musou, right? Musou is the name of these types of games where you're just kind of like slashing a bunch of enemies and they have big enemies involved. But like, I don't know. I think I will play this. I love the art style, is super cool. I think the main character is really neat. Like this, yeah, the bird character. It's just like an awesome design. But
when I saw, like, I know people were making like the Peter Griffin thing, so obviously, like, fighting the giant chicken. But I have two little girls, so we watch Toy Story a lot, and all I could think was Rex going, "It's the Chicken Man."
That's a great reference.
Like, this looks cool. Being made by Krafton, I don't know, like, so from Krafton, they're a Korean developer. They're the guys that helped purchase PUBG and that IP, and they make tons of different games. I think they ported like PUBG Mobile or something like that. So, but this is either going to be really good or this is going to run like absolute shit. You know what I mean? Because of that. But I researched this book, and apparently, like, this is like Korea's Lord of the Rings. It's like it's Korea's. It's the best novel Korea is known for. This author that made that, like, that's their Tolkien.
Interesting. Okay, I like that. It looks cool, man. It looks really cool. The art style is cool. The characters look really cool. The enemies look sick. Like, I don't know. This is. It's nice to see. I guess, you know what? It's nice to see something fresh. Like, where maybe the gameplay isn't like, it looks familiar to you, but the art direction, the style, these characters look fresh. It doesn't look like an anime girl with a dog, like it looks a little bit, it looks different. It has some different style to it. And it looks cool.
I am all about these obscure Asian works of literature that are becoming like woke, Black Myth, that's a historically big major Chinese novel from like centuries ago, and now this game is based on Korean literature. Like, bro, Asian literature and fantasy, and like I'm watching an anime that kind of I wanted something that was similar to Neo, because it's historically accurate in Neo, but it yokai deals with the demons of Japanese lore and mythology, and there's an anime. It's on Disney Plus. It's called Dororo, and it's really good. And it's fucked up, but it's there's just so much lore in all these backstory that these historical fiction and mythology that comes out of Asia, that is just. I'm all for this type of shit. I hope it's good. I hope it runs good because it looks rad.
Yeah, I agree with you. That there's just so much history there too. Like in all of those Asian countries, they've been around for so much longer than some of these like Western, civilizations and stuff, that they have some really cool.
Did this have a
tap into? No release date.
This is getting delayed, and this will be a PS6 game. This is not going to be. Just because of the quality of it, I just don't see it coming. Or it's going to run what they're promising. I see being delayed. Wouldn't you think, or no?
It depends. It sounds bad to say. Where are they making the game? If it's overseas, then
it's Korea. It's a Korean game, so
they can probably just. I don't know what the laws are there, but I know that they don't have as many, anti-crunch rules there. So
I was going to say
get this together.
There's 5,000 people working 5,000 hours on this thing. Maybe I don't know.
It's coming out tomorrow. Shadow drop right now. Way ahead of schedule. Anyways,
it's so dark.
Rayman 30th anniversary edition was announced. Oh God, dude, is it? Do I remember this correctly? Is Rayman really difficult? I remember playing this game when I was younger and thinking that this game was really, really hard. It could have just been that I was young, but
I think it's the platformer. Like platformers are generally hard, right? Like to most kids. And I remember this playing. I played the first one on Sega Genesis, and I don't really have anything for Rayman. I don't know if you remember this, but there was a game like Rayman. It was the 7-Up dot. Do you know the dot from 7-Up? They made a game.
Oh yeah.
And I liked that more than Rayman. So good for people to get this. Or maybe I'm wrong. Rayman is a PlayStation game, right? Like he was on a PlayStation first, right?
I think it was. I think it was.
IP Wiki. I just never played them. I never cared. Ubisoft first game, Sega Saturn, PlayStation. So it was on both in '95. Sega Saturn, PlayStation, and the Atari Jaguar that nobody bought.
Oh my God, the Jaguar. Rest in peace. Yeah, so that's coming out. Resident Evil Requiem. We saw more shit on this, but I
skipped that when they showed it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I don't want to see anymore. I know my boy's in it. I wasn't gonna buy this game, Kevin, until around Halloween time, but there are rumors on the internet, and I'm like, you motherfuckers are going to spoil this for me if it happens. That they're speculating that is Capcom going to kill Leon off, because it's like, you motherfuckers asked for him so much, we'll give him to you, and it's like, kill him. So it's like, now I got to play it to make sure I don't have it spoiled for me.
Yeah.
To be fair, there is no leak that I've heard that's true. That's just an internet thing that's snowballing, and it's like, I don't want that to spoil for me, so I'm probably going to be buying this next month.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great.
Or this is next week. This is next Friday.
Week. No, yeah, I was about to say, yeah,
Holy
next
shit.
week. Yeah, it's literally almost here.
Sorry, Brianna.
So, yeah. Next game, Rev Noir. This looks like an anime. It's a Konami game, kind of like an anime JRPG. It's set in a new world, played by a deadly phenomenon known as Lightfall, which instantly kills anyone it touches.
I think the
story follows a memory lesson. I think they did too, but
I was reading the same thing. I was like, huh?
I've been staring at a screen now since like 10 o'clock this morning. So my words are starting to kind of blend together as I read them. But I mean, honestly, this looks fine, I guess. Like I mean, probably not for me, but I'm sure someone out there will enjoy it.
When I watched this trailer, it felt like Konami was trying to make their own Final Fantasy or Persona.
It has like some weird Persona stylings and presentation, like it's action, and so it's different in that sense. But like, I mean, these characters look like Genshin Impact.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say the characters look like anime slop, but the game doesn't look bad.
Yep. Characters, anime slop. Game looks pretty good. Like this wolf character they have towards the end looks kind of cool. Like it's a really sick design. I'm sure, and you know what? I will say, I'm sure the story is good, because the story is always good in these games. So in these kind of like JRPG games where you have these massive worlds, and like, I don't know, like it I'm sure it's going to be fine. I won't play it. So there's that.
Do you think, what is up with, like, do you think there's like some lost in translation? Because why is the word noir, like that definition of that word has nothing to do with anything that's shown in this trailer? I don't know what
I have no idea. It probably is a translation issue.
Because what noir, I wonder if the closest thing that matched whatever this was probably called in Japanese is noir. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
What does it mean? I'm literally typing it. What does it mean? It's a story and theme. Yeah, I have no idea. It doesn't say. All right. Well, there's that for who's interested. Saros. I don't need to see any more of this game either. This is the Housemarque's kind of second game in the Returnal area. You know.
Yeah, it's Orange Returnal.
Yeah, it literally is Orange Returnal. It looks great. I still have yet to finish Returnal.
Which
I need to
honestly,
finish that at some point. But
Returnal looks better than this. But I mean, I know Housemarque makes really good bullet hell games, and um, you know, people that are into these games, you get more of it. So
yeah, it's going to be good. Returnal was good. I played like 10 hours of that and then got frustrated and quit. But yeah, I mean, this looks great. I don't know. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Next game, Silent Hill Townfall. New entry in the horror franchise offers a new town to explore, horrific enemies to fight and evade, and a story-driven puzzle that helps deliver a new but distinctly Silent Hill tale of mystery, tragedy, and loss. The perspective shifts to first person. A new yet retro portable CRT TV device will be both useful and helpful tool in encounters, and will unveil more of the story. So I guess the big switch here is that first person POV for Silent Hill that they showcased a little bit here. I'm not a horror guy, so I will kind of kick it over to you as to whether you think this looks good and faithful. It definitely, I mean, I like the lighting in the game looks gorgeous. The cutscene that they showed looks pretty neat. But yeah, what do you think?
I like Silent Hill. The last one I played was The Room on the PlayStation 3, Silent Hill The Room. So I really want to play Bloober Team's remake of Silent Hill 2. It's in my backlog to get to at some point. Silent Hill F looked not bad. I mean, anytime you do like the Japanese girls, schoolgirl, like it was very Grudge to me, and it was that just I don't know, something about that. I was like that game is going to be horrifying. I heard it was split among the Silent Hill fans. A lot of people liked it, some people didn't. But this to me, it's like y'all are chasing Resident Evil, but to be fair, they always have. The two have always competed with each other. Capcom and Konami have always competed with Resident Evil and Silent Hill, and Resident Evil is always the better game. But Konami's having this resurgence, and there was that free to play first person kind of like not walking sim, but do you remember before Silent Hill F they had it was like a prologue and it was first person, and I'm wondering if that was like a test to see how this would be received. Yeah. So you're right. I want to play through, but first I've got to play Silent Hill 2 remake and F before I touch this. So I will play it at some point. I do love horror games, but yeah, it's interesting. But you're again competition, I guess, right? Yeah, Resident Evil went there, saw success, so Konami figured why not us? So maybe.
Yeah, it looks quality. I'll be interested to follow it and see what the discourse is around it. The next game, however, is Star Wars Galactic Racer. It is exactly what you think it is, a pod racing game. Gives me like Need for Speed or like Burnout vibes almost, with some of the crashes and stuff, which looks really cool. Looks very arcadey and fun with this like photorealistic art style here. I don't know if I'll play this. It's going to depend on price point and reviews. But man, I've wanted a pod racing game since like the N64 days. So maybe I'll put my money where my mouth is and support it. But it looks. I think it looks good from a visuals and a fidelity standpoint. I don't know how it's going to feel to play. So that's going to be, obviously it's a video game, Kevin, but that's going to be the thing is when people get their hands on it, how it feels to play, and if it's got any sort of longevity there or not, with leaderboards, I'm sure, and online play and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it looks interesting.
When I saw the Lucasfilm Games logo, I went, "Oh, fuck me!"
Yeah,
because I knew it wasn't going to be that Old Republic game or anything like that. It was going to be something new. Honestly, I'm in on this, and the thing that I hope they add pod racing, because everything I've seen so far, I don't think I saw any pod racing. It's all speeders, but it is a racer, and I hope pod racing does. From what I'm trying to get it to load. I'm having like connected, but everything just looks like regular speeders, not actual pod racers. So I hope that gets like a DLC patch. I'm hoping that there's enough tracks and maps. This has potential, and I think if it's $40, I don't think you put price this more than $40. And if you do it, it's not going to sell. But if it's a 40, I'm or 35, I don't think you go over 40 for this, but I'm all in because remember Rogue Squadron? That was a pretty cool game.
Yeah.
That was also $40. So I think if it's around that price point, I will play this probably.
Yeah. I think so too. That's the get in point for me is like $30-$40. Last game, we've made it. Yako Shinobi Ops is a 4-player online isometric shinobi action. Sneaks onto PS5 next year in the form of Yako Shinobi Ops. Work together to infiltrate heavily guarded enemy territory, combining your unique ninjutsu abilities to avoid traps, evade soldiers, and escape an ever-present, unstoppable pursuer with a capital P who threatens to end your run prematurely. Looks dope. Not for me, I don't think, but I can see why people would really like this. Looks pretty fun, honestly. Have you ever played a game like this?
Well, the thing that comes to mind is like something like Tenchu Wrath of Heaven back on the PS2 days. But like as far as like isometric like this, no. And the closest thing was like, let me see. I think that game that's in the Metal Gear collection. No, that was just the Game Boy Color version of Metal Gear Solid. But I mean, that was kind of top down isometric version of Metal Gear. And it was the thing that sucks about this. This game I was like, oh my God, this looks badass. And then I'm like watching it and I'm like, first of all, being online co-op only kind of like, I wish there was like a single player mode to this. And I hope there is, because I would like to play something like this and then also I would want combat, and it just seems like you only attack from behind. I didn't see anything where I saw like actual true combat. You know what I mean? Like I would like to play a game like this where yes, stealth is key, but if you were to get into an encounter, it's very difficult to fight your way out of it, which I would hope that's kind of what I was hoping was in this, but it looks cool, but I don't know. I want to see more of this before I say anything about it. But the art style and being isometric looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. It looks really neat. I'm interested to see what it looks like. If there is more combat, that could persuade me maybe to buy. Maybe it's just too early in development. They don't want to show that off yet because animations aren't, tightened up and all of that. But the last game that we have not talked about was there one last thing. This is God of War: Sons of Sparta. It is a 2.5D God of War game from the studio is Mad Cat Studios. Has a pretty cool, I think the game looks good. Like from an art direction standpoint, I haven't played it, so I can't really say too much about it. But it's, it is all the friggin' rage right now online. David Jaffe, obviously, if you do not know who that is the original creator of God of War, has very strong opinions on this. And while I do agree with some of the things that he said, like, hey, no one wants to play as, young Kratos, really. I mean, that's probably true. No one wants to play as, young, Atreus or whatever the case may be, right? Like, stop giving us that kind of stuff. I get to an extent. I think he had issues with just the overall quality of the game as well in certain areas that he talked about that I saw online. He's catching a lot of flack for it right now, but we talked about that previously. I don't want to divulge too much. I think people just love to hate on Jaffe for some reason because he's outspoken and passionate and whatever. But he created God of War. It is a tentpole franchise for Sony, not just PlayStation, but for Sony now, as they are stepping into the TV realm with God of War as well. These games are really important to them. I don't know why they don't just bring the guy on to fucking,
consult. Yeah.
A little bit, if it's his, brainchild, why you wouldn't bring him on to talk about some of this stuff. But it's interesting. I probably won't play this unless it gets, maybe someday it'll be on PlayStation Plus or something like that. And I'll pick it up. It's probably a pass for me. Honestly, I would rather spend time going back and playing the original God of War trilogy than playing this personally. But yeah, what anything else to say about this?
I'll play it. I think $30 is a little high for something like this because the quality. So Mad Catz, they did like the Angry Video Game Nerd 1 and 2,
Right.
which are good games. Like they're good Nintendo style 2D platformers. I listened to David's conversation with Colin about sorry, my kids are gonna go nuts about
No,
because as we're they're getting antsy, ready for dad to get out of here. But the thought was, if you're gonna do an IP like and a Metroidvania like God of War, the quality needs to be a little bit better. And I've heard some of the attack animations and the health bars of the enemies, which you don't need health bars in a Metroidvania. Like, just attack the enemy until it dies. It can get a little bit jarring on the menu, and some of the backgrounds and everything kind of blend and mesh together, so you don't really know what you can and can't go up or down or jump on. So I see the complaints in that, and especially coming from the creator, I get it. The story of, from God of War 1 with Deimos, his brother, and what happens to him, and that you learn throughout playing those 3 games. I want to see this. What happens to Kratos before he gives his soul to Hades? Or was it Ares before he asked Ares before he gives his soul to Ares and becomes a demigod and works his way up to being the God of War. So I think this is cool, and I think mixing in some mythology, it just looks a little. I would like if it looked like Lost Crown that I'm playing currently, the Prince of Persia game, had a little bit more care into it. I think I would like it more, but I'm wondering, like, I honestly think, was some of this stuff made with generative AI?
Yeah. I mean, stylistically, like, I'm playing Neon Inferno on the Switch, and that is so much more interesting to look at from like a 2D, 2.5D perspective. Like, it's not even close. Like, I think it looks good. I'm not saying that it looks bad, but it doesn't look nearly as interesting as Neon Inferno to me. If you just like look at screenshots of that game, like, there's so much more going on stylistically in every single scene. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll probably play it at some point, but I don't know. I'm a little, after playing after playing Ragnarok, I'm good with God of War taking a little bit of a hiatus, and I'm not itching for more God of War right now, if that makes sense.
I don't know if you know the game, but I've been waiting for this game for years. It got announced, I think, literally in 2020. It's called Replaced. It finally comes out this March. It comes out March 12th. It's been in development for a very long time. This game is super cool, kind of cyberpunky detective story. But if you're gonna do a 2.5D game or 2D, like, and have it, like, look at the style of Replaced. If you're gonna do something, like, look how good this game looks, and
it looks awesome.
If you're gonna do that with an IP like God of War, I expect it to have this much level of care and detail into it. That's where I $30 for that game. No. And I think Replaced is going to be $30 to $40, and it's like, and it's going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah, this looks sick, dude.
Yeah, I've been waiting for Replaced ever since it got announced. This game looks amazing. So, that's my qualms about charging this much, having that IP. You could have done harder, and that's where I agree with Jaffe in that.
Yeah, I think so too. You gotta. I mean, it's a God of War game. One thing that you can't say about any of those God of War games is that they don't reek of quality. They're all quality games. But that just about wraps it up. That was a really kind of packed episode, I think, from starting with what we played all the way down through the state of play. It was a banger state of play. I would say 9.5 or 10 out of 10. I don't know that we're going to get a better state of play than that. I think everyone should temper your expectations. They're not all going to be this good.
No.
Like You know what I mean? Like,
sorry, we're both having the same thought. Yeah, somebody out there is going to expect the next one to be just as good, and it's going to be just a bunch of indie games, and they're going to be like, "What the fuck, Sony? You suck."
Yeah, I saw people complaining about this one. If you are complaining on the internet about this state of play, you do not like video games. Period.
Yeah.
If you don't think, if there was not one game that you were excited about here, you don't like video games. I'm sorry. If that hurts your feelings, I'm so sorry. But Control, Dead or Alive, Death Stranding, God of War Trilogy, Yote, John Wick, Kenna, Marathon, multiple fighting games, Metal Gear Solid. What more do you want from people? Like what more do you want from a state of play? This game had a little bit of everything. It had horror, it had racing. Like, guys, this is like a full culmination of the relationships that Sony has built over these years. People want to highlight their games on Sony State of Plays. That this is a sign, I think, of strength from Sony. I think this is showing the rest of people in the industry, hey, people want to showcase their games with us, and I think it's going to bode well for Sony in the future. I think if they get these games and a lot of them come out, they're good. These third-party games, we need them. We need them to satiate ourselves between first party. Sony needs them, so it's going to be super cool. I'm excited. The future is bright with a lot of these games.
Yeah, well said. I completely agree. A+ show from Sony, and it's like you said, not a ton of complete first party stuff, but people wanted to put their stuff on Sony, and I think that shows where Sony's at in a position right now with PlayStation 5. I am curious. I wonder where Barlog's game is from Santa Monica Studios. Intergalactic Heretic Prophecy, I thought maybe we might get something more of that. Wasn't any more Wolverine shown from the first party stuff, so maybe something else is coming down the pipeline for that. But all around, I liked it. Actually, it was an F. There was no Bloodborne remaster, so I hated it.
No Bloodborne, automatic F. All right. Well, thanks. If you listened this long, we appreciate you all. Write in to us at remotegamingpodcast@gmail.com. Check us out on X. We're pretty active over there, trying to be more active. YouTube, TikTok, all of the different places. Type in Remote Gaming Podcast and you will find us. Joseph, it's been a delight. It's been a really good, solid episode here. We, as we're looking at it, Joseph goes in and he cuts and edits the ums and some of the ahs and dead spaces and things like that. But it was a 2 hour and 40-minute banger of a pod. So always appreciate you. Love doing this stuff. And I think some really good conversations today.
Yeah, for sure. I look forward to the next one we do. Yeah, man, it's been a blast.
Yeah. Keep on gaming. See you later.